humans and orcs. All right. And people are corrupted and then redeemed.
So is it
like
is
StarCraft, but without the orcs.
thing? Anyway.
Okay.
How far did you get in this last time? Okay.
I got to the monorail.
Environmental Reprocessing Center. Next stop, Site 2.
Who are you? What are you doing? I was waiting here on the train for my partner.
This very wide man with a tiny head.
Going on, but he never came back.
Welcome to IdTech 4 models.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell's going on, but I bet it has to do with those artifacts we were digging up at Site 2. I bet they're somehow connected with those things in the Delta complex.
But yeah, so I got some
Remember,
chicken
first.
katsu.
Please do not exit the vehicle without wearing
For
proper
lunch.
environmental protection. In the event
I need to
of
get
an
some
from a
emergency
Hawaiian
stop,
place.
Comsec will be dispatched immediately for your safety. Have a nice day.
It was real good.
Now
I don't
entering
know what's
Site
chicken
2.
katsu.
It's Japanese style fried
Warning,
chicken.
airlock malfunction.
It's a
Please
cutlet
contact engineering
that
to
is cut
facilitate
to thin
repairs.
strips and
Thank
fried.
you, and have a nice day.
And then you put katsu sauce or teriyaki sauce on it.
Okay.
And then you have a good time, because, or a bad time, depending on how your innards feel. And now I'm playing this video game called Doom 3. All right, so Satan, right? You hear about this guy?
Kind of an asshole.
You know, he was originally Lucifer, son of the morning, until he fell out of God's favor for rebelling against heaven. Anyway, what if he was on Mars? With his damned legions. Okay? And then, what if you shot them until they blew up?
That's what God needed. Firearms.
That's what the Constitution says.
Mm-hmm.
Satan on Mars, is that a Mormon thing? No, I don't think so. Although, apparently the novelizations of Doom, which exist, because of course they do, the Doom guy does meet the Mormons. And I don't know what's up with that. Oh, cool. Cool. Anyway, just have to go through that entire monorail sequence
Now
again.
leaving Environmental Reprocessing Center. Next stop,
Did
Site
Orson
2.
Scott Card write those? No. Orson Scott Card wrote a book called Ender's Game that people seem to think is seminal sci-fi, but I always thought Ender Wiggin was a self-righteous little shit. And then I never read any of the other 3 books or the spin-offs.
How much of seminal sci-fi do you think is seminal because there's just a twist towards the end?
All of it.
Remember, safety
The ones
first.
that aren't
Please
just
do not
doing
exit
the
vehicle without wearing
hero's
proper
journey.
environmental protection. In the event of an emergency stop,
Because Dune is seminal sci-fi because something Campbell's monomyth.
Now entering Site 2. Warning, airlock malfunction. Please contact engineering to facilitate repair.
I just don't think Dune is very good.
Thank you, and have a nice day.
Okay, but he is the Muad'Dib.
I don't care.
Frank Herbert loved drugs.
Destroy all who oppose me.
And I have to respect that. I have to respect that at some point Frank Herbert was clearly experimenting with some stuff and wrote those later Dune books. The ones I only know of by reputation. And then his kids wrote books that are bad. I don't know. Consider the 1960s and what science fiction was in the 1960s. Because it was pulp shit written by L. Ron Hubbard.
I mean, Heinlein and Asimov were writing
sure.
books at that time.
Yeah, sure. You got Heinlein and Asimov writing their very sterile, high concept sci-fi.
Airlock malfunction detected.
You know, and hey, people love them foundations.
I believe Ursula Le Guin
Yeah,
was writing at that
Ursula
point,
Le
although I
Guin
don't know if she
started
was
writing
something.
in the 60s.
So, those guys, the game, I don't think it ever tells you this, but if you duck, their
Tentacle whip doesn't hit you.
If you duck at the right time, it'll go above your head. If I remember correctly. It didn't...
Anyway, have you considered this? Maybe all science fiction is bad, actually. I've decided new paradigm. All genre fiction is bad. The only fiction that matters is serious fiction about real people. Actually, all fiction is bad. This is my new paradigm. I've decided to instate. Why would you want a thing that's not real? Also, I know people who have literally... There are people out there. I know people.
I was an English major in college.
No, Westwood made a couple games. Like, Westwood made a bunch of, like, tiny DOS-era video games before they made Dune 2.
Wasn't Dune 2 just the first RTS?
I mean, there's some debate about that. But Dune 2 is, like, absolutely recognizable as the predecessor to most RTS stuff. I mean, you could say, like, Mule is technically real-time, right? Isn't Mule real-time? Did I make that up?
What's Mule?
Mule is a seminal video game from the 1980s that is like a competitive management sim.
And have a nice day.
Also, and it's one of those things where it's like people who are, let's say, 20 years older than us are like, yeah, I used to play Mule on my old Apple II.
Destroy all who oppose
Anyway,
me.
forget Dune 2. Let's talk about Dune 2000. Which is, they made another Dune RTS. Using the CNC engine. And you have to, build, fortified, ground, otherwise the sandworms will destroy your buildings. No, there are three. There's also a third Dune RTS that Westwood also made. They made 3 Dune RTSs. Speaking of RTSs you can't buy in stores, let me tell you about
Engineering. Please report to Site 2 access ramp.
Lord of the Rings, The Battle for Middle-earth.
How many of those
Sequel.
can you still buy?
How many of those can you still buy? None of them. Oh, cool. That thing literally just spawned in front of me, huh? It's because EA doesn't have the rights to Lord of the Rings anymore. And I doubt... I'm trying to think, because now the right shit around Lord of the Rings is weird, right? Because the Embracer group has some grasp over it. And who knows if that will ever come to anything. But I know... But I think Warner Brothers still has, you know, the original film, that film trilogy, and I guess The Hobbit. Something Saul Zantz, something, no, the one you fight the Eye of Sauron as a boss is, the Third Age, which we covered on Off the Deep End. It was the first game we actively decided to stop playing. Harvey Weinstein has something to do with Lord of the Rings as well, because it's all a mess. And now that Chris Tolkien's dead, no one can stop me from making Shelob a sexy lady. No one can stop me.
She's a shapeshifter. She can technically be whatever she wants.
Yeah, she's a demigod or whatever. Something. Oh, yeah. Oh, Listen, when we're all, like, 70, and, let's see, when... The Hobbit was published in the 30s.
Yeah. Although I don't know if that version of The Hobbit would really count, because if I'm not mistaken, Tolkien had... When he re-released The Hobbit, like, 10 years or 20 years later, to match up with Lord of the Rings, he made some changes, like, to that story to some degree. Like, it's not significant, but he changed up some details.
Like, I mean, you've seen how the Conan Doyle estate got about Sherlock Holmes. Thankfully, I think all of those stories are now public domain. So Frogwares can do their, a code, huh? Gonna make me look in my PDA. I have to assume GameFAQs will be around forever, because it costs very little money to,
It's also very useful.
Yeah,
like,
it costs...
I know
I'm sure it still gets great traffic, and costs very little to host.
Yeah, like, let's host a bunch of text files.
I think GameSpot will go under before GameFAQs does. Or rather, GameSpot will not employ any human beings after a certain point. Yeah, how else are you going... Like, what else are you going to do? Go to a fandom wiki? Because let me tell you about hell. Hell is real. It's on Mars. And it involves going through YouTube hint guides where a guy's like, hey guys, it's me, Arbitrary 420, and I'm here to tell you where to find this hidden collectible in Ghost of Tsushima. Before we do that, remember to like and subscribe. And then 15 minutes later, you find the thing you were looking for.
Meanwhile, you go to GameFAQs, pull up a
Go to
text, and
GameFAQs,
there's
yeah, pull
Control
up
F.
the text, Control F, and deal with and embrace the wisdom of someone from 2002.
Lionheart says, "Do you have the disturbed sound
No,
effects?"
the only thing I have on the only sound file I have on my soundboard right now is this one.
Wizards and Warriors 2000 is a computer role-playing game
Which one?
developed by Heuristic
I don't
Park.
think you can hear it. I'm sorry.
Oh, you know what? I have the stream muted. Should not have it muted. I have it muted because I keep hearing my own voice.
826. Yeah, that's fair.
And sometimes that makes it hard to talk when suddenly I hear my own voice and my brain goes, wait, what the fuck?
Because I made that sound clip as a proof of concept when I briefly pitched Gino on the idea of making a Deep Listens TikTok. Because I think it would be very funny to have the TikTok robot lady talk about Serpagas, CRPGs. Alright, where's the door I need to go through?
I do not remember.
It's fine.
It's
Because all of these environments look the exact same?
sure.
Alright, maybe I just have to go back to the monorail. You know what's fun? Wondering if you're getting sick again or not.
Now leaving.
So I was out the week before Christmas, out of work.
Yeah.
I just asked for a week off. When I got back, I found out that apparently, during that week, most of the IT office had come down with a flu or a cold or something, and significant portions of the office were out. So I picked the right week to get off, and there have been a couple times where I've coughed or something. I've wondered, does this thing come back around or what?
Listen, I've been around small children.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of my older sister's families was there, and obviously the nephew is around. When I woke up this morning and said hi to him, he ran upstairs. You. Oh, who got a child inside? Why would you? That's not a game for kids. That's a game for weirdos. How many hours am I into this game? Like 6. I have made progress. Wait, Brad Shoemaker got a child inside? Sure.
So how
Whoa.
is the third Doom?
Wait, a 4-year-old?
What?
Brad Shoemaker got a 4-year-old child inside the game with the giant flesh thing.
Wait, what?
See, this is why I don't listen to Nextlander anymore, and I just instead respond with shock and disbelief. Anyway.
Wait, Brad
Howard,
gave what? Doom
how's Doom 3?
to a 4-year-old?
I mean, the kid's got to learn at some point.
Kids got to learn about Gestalt flesh blobs.
Yes. Yes.
They need to know that hell is bad and to be scared of it.
And there's no better way to teach kids about hell.
I
than
mean,
with Doom.
listen, I remember. This was still when we were living in Japan on base. So I would have been like 6. I remember my friend Joey
Warning. Automated
had
turret guns
Doom on
online.
his dad's computer. And
That sounds like a Joey thing to do. A kid named Joey would do that.
yeah.
Warning.
I know he had a
Automated turret
SNES,
guns online.
and I think maybe he had like Kirby Superstar or something.
That's a great SNES game.
Yeah, it was one of them. I don't remember what happened to Joey. But
Warning. Automated turret guns online.
regardless, he showed it to me when I was 6, and I was very confused. All I knew was it was a game with guns, and therefore it was bad.
Sounds like a normal 6-year-old reaction.
In the same way that, like, GoldenEye was a game for the older kids. Because it had guns.
It's a healthy reaction from a 6-year-old.
It was rated T for teen.
And you
It
were a
wasn't
teen.
rated KA.
Wait, Doom was rated T?
No.
GoldenEye.
GoldenEye was rated T.
Oh,
Warning.
never mind.
Automated turret guns.
That man throws a
online.
hat and he kills you.
That is true.
That's just fun hijinks.
It's very odd. It's an odd job to have.
Automated turret guns offline.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Did y'all ever have a store called Odd Job near you?
No.
There was a store in a town near me that had, it was basically like a bunch of discount goods,
Uh-huh.
and it was called Odd Job, and it was a person with the hat. The logo was a person with a bowler hat. And I did not.
That sounds copyright infringing.
No, Lionheart.
It does,
I
now
did
that I know.
not slip in a bathtub full of mac and cheese and break my finger. Justin, I want you to guess who broke his finger in a mac and cheese bathtub related accident. Because you
I
already
figured
know.
Zombie Pie.
No.
Warning. Automated turret guns online.
You're
It's
close
not
though.
Zombie Pie?
No.
You're close.
Automated turret guns offline.
Was it Gino?
No.
I didn't think so.
I would
figured
not-
Gino had more sense
I would
than
not-
that.
I would not soil a bathtub with mac and
I can't think
cheese.
of anybody else weird enough to fill a bathtub with macaroni and cheese.
No, you
Really?
can.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, you do. Just think of people you don't know necessarily personally, but maybe you've heard them talk about wrestling
Bad
and
things.
saying or shoot.
Oh, Dan Reichert?
15
yes, Dan
fucking
Reichert
years.
broke his finger because he slipped in a bathtub full of mac and cheese.
Why?
Because he's a dumbass.
Professionally.
He's also getting too old for this shit.
Listen, if I made my entire, if I, instead of making my brand about playing things that I don't enjoy, made my brand about
Being a dumbass.
yeah, and being the most fundamentally incurious human being.
What happened to Jan?
Jan is still the Jan got COVID.
He hurt his hand.
Oh,
but I
wow.
and
don't know
also
how.
hurt his hand.
He also hurt his hand. I hurt my arm yesterday. I slipped going down the stairs.
Are you
I
now
was,
called One-Armed Gino? Are you now
No,
lefty?
I'm fine.
Oh, okay.
I was I hurt my left arm. I was walking down the stairs. I had my right hand on a banister, and then it was 5:30 in the morning because I had a 6 o'clock meeting, and
Gross.
I was just walking very gingerly, and I slipped and broke my fall with my stupid left arm. Only a bruise, not too bad. I was smart, at least awake enough to have my hand on the banister to like catch myself, so it wasn't quite as bad a fall as it could have been.
Yeah.
But I was able to do rock wall climbing with the injury, so it's not that bad.
Oh well, look at you.
See, I just sometimes with my recent Age of Empires 2 let's say fixation, it's definitely one of the things that's like, oh, I can feel my wrists starting to hurt in that,
Play
in
it
that
with the
gamer
controller.
way.
Emergency power
And it's like, well, I guess I'm not playing Age of Empires 2 today.
suspended.
Do you have one of those wrist straps?
I probably
You know.
should.
Yeah, you should get one of those.
I remember, because
Yeah,
I went to a doctor and, like, it was not carpal tunnel at least. Because carpal tunnel means nerve damage, which is bad.
Usually, yeah. Oh, I see you're playing with the mod that lets you put
I'm
the
playing
flashlight
BFG
on the gun.
edition.
I was playing BFG edition.
Okay.
So I'm a fake gamer.
Where they put the mod
according
in.
To
You're
the
fake
people
mer.
who like this game for some reason.
Fakemer.
You know what this game would be? You know what would make this game better? If I just couldn't see anything.
Yeah, it's called ambiance.
Mood.
Yeah.
You
I-
probably are someone who goes into a haunted house and is like, turn the lights up super bright.
I mean, that's you. You're like, where are the cards? Can I beat the haunted house?
Systems down.
Did I
I
win
mean, you
the
can,
haunted
but
house?
they don't let you back in.
I'm not scared
You
of the
can,
haunted
but they
house.
don't
Did
let
I
you back
win
in
it?
again.
I could be scarier.
I forget. Did I tell the story about the one time I was at Universal Studios in Orlando at a time when there were not very many people in the park,
Uh-huh.
and it
That's
was
fun.
I think
it
I've
was
heard
the
this.
whatever
But go ahead.
13 nights of scary or whatever the hell it is that they do around Halloween.
Yes.
I was walking around and I was on the phone with my wife at the time, and
Your wife at the time.
we were just talking.
Your ex-wife.
Same wife. No, same wife. At the time when I was walking, I was on the phone.
Yes.
I was on the phone with my wife, and I wanted to go to Simpsons Land, which I think now is Bob's Burgers Land. But at the time, it was the Simpsons Land. And the corridor between the entrance and Simpsons Land was the Spook Town, Spook Central, or whatever. So down this kind of dark corridor, they had people dressed as monsters and zombies, etc. And I was like, okay, fine, yeah, you're scary. And they would walk up real close to you and not touch you and make laughing sounds and stuff. And then there was one guy on stilts in like a wraith costume. And he was just standing there staring at me from about 20 feet, 30 feet away. And then he sprinted up at me, stopped directly in front of my face, and tilted his head sideways. And I was on the phone. Rude. And I tried my best to ignore him, and he did it again when I had to leave.
I mean, that
So
guy's
that's
just doing
my
his
haunted-
job. Like, his job
He
is to be a
is.
creep. And he was being a creep, successfully.
He was. He was. When it's dark and there's a man in a wraith costume with stilts on, it is unsettling.
Emergency power only. All Delta operations.
You think if I just went really good job, Steven, way to go, like he would have been encouraged, or...
Yatsu in the chat saying you should have swept the stilt.
That's how you get...
It's self-defense.
That's how you get
Listen,
disappeared by park
violence
security.
is always a solution. It's not the solution, but it is one of them.
You
That
should
is
only
how,
do violence when people are doing like the horror pranks, but if you're going somewhere that's like horror themed and someone's doing horror stuff, you can't really attack them for it.
I just wanted to go to Simpsons Land. I didn't sign up for horror. I didn't know there was horror happening.
That's what you say whenever you go into my streams.
All Delta operations suspended.
I didn't know there was horror happening.
But
I
is
just
there
wanted to
horror
go to
happening?
Simpsons Land.
Is this horror? Is Doom 3 horror?
You have Simpsons Hit and Run?
People absolutely claim this game
Hit
is
and Run
scary.
is horror. Well, Lionheart in the chat seems to think that BFG edition is for babies because they made it brighter.
Yeah, but
They
consider
really
this.
did make it a lot brighter.
Doom 3
For
not
babies.
being scary has no real effect on whether or not
Emergency power only. All
it's
Delta
scary.
operations suspended.
What?
Doom 3 being a horror
I don't know what
game
that means.
doesn't mean it has to be scary.
I
So define horror and define scary.
Scary is when my Kokoro goes doki doki.
Reactor core.
Okay.
Core offline.
All right. Yeah.
don't know what that means either.
Yeah. That checks out.
WWK in the chat says the thing with Simpsons Hit and Run is that it turns out B tier Simpsons jokes are way funnier than actual GTA writing.
That is
Yeah,
true.
because GTA jokes are just like Weasel News. Get it?
Video link up requested.
Oh, I can't wait for GTA 6 to satirize contemporary
You can.
post-2016 America.
But you can't. It already is satire. You can't make it more satire.
Just tell that to the Scotsmen
Video link up requested.
of
Yeah,
Rockstar
that's-
North.
Video
That is
link up
true.
requested.
The British.
Well, the
Yeah.
satire will be it's going to be Gonald Bump, and then he's gonna
Hey,
be a jerk.
there's a fake TikTok that was in the trailer.
Wait, GTA 6
Of
isn't in the
course.
80s? No, it's modern
GTA
day.
6 is modern day.
There's like fake TikTok in the trailer.
Yeah, there's fake TikTok. It takes place in
Is it
contemporary
Lick Lock or
modern
something?
America.
Like it is very much contemporary Florida.
It is very much
which
modern Florida.
which
I thought it
again
was-
you
oh,
which again
God.
you can't satirize that. You can only just replicate it.
Reactor core offline. Please
About to say I thought it was supposed to be LA, but that was GTA 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was LA.
Florida would be that's a real choice, honestly.
I mean, it's
Modern
Vice
Florida.
City. You know.
Yeah. But instead
no,
of
like-
Oh, so
cocaine
it's Miami.
80s Florida,
Yeah.
it's modern Florida.
Yeah, like modern Florida already is satire, just in itself. So you can't satirize.
Honestly, I wish it was like instead of being Miami, I wish it was instead the Panhandle or like Gainesville.
Oh,
Like,
you know
well,
they're gonna have
Gainesville's
like
Upper
a
Peninsula.
the fake Panhandle
Like
area in that
Tallahassee,
game.
Panama City.
You're,
Oh
you're-
yeah, Gulf Coast, Florida. Yeah.
I want it to be Tampa.
You want to be Tampa? Ooh.
I was in Tampa.
I was in Tampa
On
just
purpose?
last week.
Yes.
On purpose?
There are beaches there. I don't know if you know this, Gino.
There's manatees in, near Tampa.
There's beaches and an aquarium.
Okay.
Oh, I was in
Yeah.
Tampa for the fireworks over the bay, for New Year's, and I saw manatees like an hour north of there.
No, that's where we were for Thanksgiving. We were in Tampa well, Clearwater, but we were there for a couple days, and then we went back to Orlando.
Back to the safety of Orlando and
Back
and the
to
mouse.
the safety of the part of Florida that at least won't be underwater.
Yes.
Because they've got
it's
pumps
in the middle
already
of
to
the
keep
state.
it.
And
Well,
also
it used to be a
Disney will
swamp.
build a giant wall to keep
Yes,
the
they
water
It
will-
used to
out.
be an actual swamp.
They will build a giant seawall around Orlando. It'll just be an island in 50 years.
That is already what's happening. Orlando only exists because there are pumps that it
Yeah.
used to be Everglade. It used to be swamp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just
And
are
now
constantly
it's,
pumping water.
And now it's Disney. And soon Disney will
Soon
be
we'll
the
find
only
out.
thing left standing in the state of Florida.
And you know what? Good riddance. There, I said it.
I'm just happy that the Lopez brothers have their Disney condos. They're two large basketball players who are 7 feet tall and are unironic giant Disney dorks.
Oh,
And they
Mike Minotti
they have-
but athletic.
but 7 feet tall. So they've
Good for
got.
them.
I think they've got neighboring houses in Steamboat Springs or whatever the hell the
The
community
weird
is.
Celebration.
Celebration's the like employee town.
Celebration is
the
the
employee
fucking
town.
Disney company town.
Yeah.
Italian Mike Minotti. Is he?
Wait, but I thought Mike Minotti
Isn't he Italian?
Italian. I mean, Minotti's an Italian name, isn't
That.
it?
Yes.
Or is,
To be
or is-
clear, I
or-
mean no ill will towards Mike Minotti, because unlike Reichert, he feels shame for the person he is.
Wait, Dan did this? What did Dan do? Oh,
Dan
Mike
broke
Minotti.
his
I
fucking
don't know what
finger.
that means.
Well, no, Lionheart's saying that someone already
Lionheart's saying something.
about.
I
Mike
literally
Minotti
don't
being
know what-
Italian.
Oh,
references.
so I guess during a recent voicemail dump truck, Dan Reichert found out that Vinny Caravella is Italian American.
Oh, come on. He
What?
knew that.
He's like,
Vinny
I
talked about it
never
all the
even
time.
thought of. I never thought about that.
He talked about it all the time.
Sure.
Yeah, but
That's
he's
like
just
one
a
of the
guy.
things he talked
Like
about, like,
Italians
every
are people who make pizza. I guess I don't know. There are no. How many Italian wrestlers are there? Mario's an Italian
Yeah.
for shoot.
I know, like, so is the plot twist that Mike Minotti is actually of like Slovenian origin
No.
or something?
See, at some point, I don't care if he's doing a bit or not. Because if you've made your brand, if you've made your entire existence just willful ignorance, it doesn't matter. You just want people to yell at you.
Oh, but also, he's getting kind of old for that. Like, he should be.
He's almost
we're-
40? Yeah,
Wait, I thought he was past 40.
maybe he is.
I think he should pass me past 40 by now.
Yeah, I guess so. He owns a house.
Here's the fun thing: you don't actually need to change anything.
Yeah, you don't need. It turns
You don't
out that some people just they don't need to actually change and grow as people. You can just keep doing the same bits you were doing when you were in your 20s in college, comparing every video game to Metal Gear in your local newspaper.
Yep.
And then you can buy a house
See,
in
I'm trying to
fucking Connecticut.
I'm
I
trying
would
to
never.
expand my repertoire beyond comparing everything to Final Fantasy IX. I'm working on it. I'm playing other games.
You should
I'm
play
learning other things.
the Metal Max series. Get the fan translations. Let us know how those games are.
The what?
Metal Max.
What you say? What is
Metal
Metal
Max.
Max?
All right, so imagine a JRPG
But you're a
that's
tank.
Okay.
it's Mad Max, but you have a tank, and it's
Okay.
anime.
Anyway, this is why I, a 31-year-old man, am going to die in my parents' basement.
Oh, don't say that.
See, you should just get people to yell at you. Why don't you just loudly have bad opinions?
Gino, let's play Pass the Pudding.
Jesus.
I'm gonna post. And then he's like, look at this tweet. Look at this tweet of the worst opinion. And then we're
Wait,
like,
that's
yeah,
a
that's
zombie
the
pie.
worst opinion.
Oh, okay, you're just talking about ZP now.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, Dan Reichert's like, Zelda, That's,
Oh, it's a different impression. Okay.
yeah.
It is. They're adjacent. Bonk
Oh yeah,
must
no,
be a
Bianca is the most
yeah.
patient human being
Oh,
alive.
She's
She has
very
to be.
nice. I met her at PAX. She's a very nice person.
Yeah. Listen, to be clear, I bet Dan Reichert would be a great guy to hang out with in person.
He is also very
he's
nice.
probably
Both
a
of them are
fun
very
guy.
nice people. He is doing a character for shows.
He's
and
doing a forshoot,
fact-
as the kids say.
Sure.
The,
why not?
the kids don't say that.
If that's what
Well,
the kids are
he's a
saying, I guess
child.
that's what they're saying.
Okay, yes,
So-
he is a child. Yes.
Um,
Also, F's in the chat
yeah, F's in the
for Doom
chat.
Guy.
Listen, I'm playing on veteran. I'm a gamer.
Oh, because
Oh,
you're a
wow.
gamer.
Yeah, I'm a gamer.
So you're a pro gamer.
I'm a.
Okay.
So we need
yeah.
to salute this guy. He's a veteran.
Yes.
I mean, my dad's an actual veteran.
Yes.
My
Thank you
birthday
for
is
your
on
service.
Veterans Day, so
Do we
consider
have to
that.
salute you?
I mean, I'm just gonna thank you
should
for your
salute-
service.
I'm
regardless.
glad that they ended World War I in commemoration of my birth.
Yeah, that was really
A
good.
child is
60-something
coming.
years later. 70-something years later.
A child is coming. He will change the world, and we must end
He
this
will
war.
change the world by playing
Remembering.
bad garbage for tens of people.
Yep.
They call him Arby.
Mr.
Not
Water.
affiliated with the restaurant.
Not affiliated with the roast beef.
So, what'd you rather have, a roast beef sandwich or Doom 3?
Where's the roast beef sandwich from?
Arby's.
I'd rather play Doom 3.
Wow.
Yeah. In
Okay.
the eternal struggle between Doom 3 and food poisoning, I choose Doom
I
3.
got
I've
chicken
never gotten
katsu
food poisoning.
for lunch today. It was good.
Nice.
I had an Impossible Whopper yesterday,
Oh.
just to see.
Oh.
Look at
How's
you,
that?
veggie man.
Is it?
Did you have some
is it fine?
couscous too?
Is it fine?
It's fine. It's
Oh,
totally
okay.
fine. I did not have couscous. No.
And yeah, Jatsu
I
here
had-
with the reasonable answer. Which, yeah, sure, you can have Doom 3 and an Arby's roast beef sandwich, I guess.
But what
But
are
that
internet
wasn't
conversations
hypothetical.
without pointless hypothetical dichotomies?
Yes.
Or
You see,
dilemmas, I guess is technically.
See, I'm trying to do the dialectic, and Jatsu is just jumping to the synthesis immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but listen, do you want trans rights or do you want a stable economy?
Do you want
Have you
trans
seen that
rights,
video?
or do you want
Yes, I saw that
a
video.
steak
and,
sandwich?
And
Oh,
good on
Okay,
that
a
guy
steak
for
sandwich.
rejecting the question.
Like an actual steak sandwich, I'll take that over Doom 3 any day. But an Arby's roast beef? Nah. Not even a beef and cheddar?
What video is this?
It's like,
so,
would you rather? Yeah, no, you explained it.
listen, it's a lot.
You could just let me to it.
Okay, it's a, there, I will just describe it.
Use your words.
So an individual is on a college campus, and he's wearing a t-shirt that says, like, my pronouns are praise/him.
Oh, sick.
And he's like
Doing,
going up to people with a microphone and being like, so would you rather have transgenders or a stable economy? And
I think it's like, would you rather have LGBT riots or a strong economy?
yeah,
I think
it's
it's
something like
riots.
that.
Yes,
Right.
riots.
Yeah.
Rights, or is it riots? I heard
Right.
riots.
It's right.
Rights. Oh, okay.
And
What?
some guy just is like, both. And he's like, you can only have one. I picked both. No, you can only pick one. But I can have both.
Reactor core offline.
Like yes,
And he
because
just stonewalls this asshole in the funniest way.
yeah, because he looks like an easy mark,
Yeah.
but then he isn't.
Core online.
These two things are not in conflict. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I'm afraid these two things are not connected to each other in any serious way.
So I choose both.
Do you want low taxes, or do you want a functioning state-run healthcare system? See, that's something.
That's
There's
more
actually
of an
tension there.
actual dichotomy. That's more. That's closer to an actual question.
Yeah, but you know, hey, it's almost like the people doing all of the culture wars bullshit are just very disingenuous.
Really.
I'm saying that perhaps they just want to hurt people.
Uh-huh.
Perhaps.
And will just make up shit to justify the targeted persecution of vulnerable minorities.
Yes.
Like Doom 3 fans.
Exactly. The most vulnerable minority.
Feel
So
attacked.
vulnerable. Yeah. You should.
You should. I'm attacking you. With
Oh,
this
thanks.
limp dick shotgun.
You know, I personally wouldn't go into the room with the giant spinny thing, because that does not look OSHA compliant.
It's fine. There are railings on the
OSHA's
catwalks.
OSHA doesn't exist in a Doom 3 world.
Oh yes, no. If you see, if OSHA existed, they
UAC would
wouldn't have opened the
absolutely
portal.
not be OSHA compliant.
That is true. Yeah, there's nothing OSHA compliant about opening a hell portal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what did you say this machine does? Opens a portal to hell, huh?
Yeah, listen,
How many
it's for
safety
science.
railings are around this portal?
Don't you want to further the progress of science? If we can open a portal to hell, imagine the things we can do.
Such as?
I
Just
mean, in Doom
imagine the
2016,
profit.
the answer is hell is an infinite source of energy.
Yeah.
So it's basically the one of the latest Rick and Morty episodes?
Yeah. I'll believe you. I haven't watched Rick and Morty since season 3.
Good for you.
Whatever,
Okay.
that show's
I mean-
fine.
That show's good. I'm not gonna get mad at just because it's oversaturated.
Just because
doesn't mean
man
it's bad.
children are bad, just because Justin Roiland's a fucking sex pest.
But he's not involved with the show
shit.
anymore. They kicked him off.
Yeah. It turns out other people can pretend to be drunk.
They got 2 people and they sound the same as he did. It's fine.
I can do a Rick and Morty.
Do it.
Oh, gee,
Do
Rick. Oh, this portal to hell. I don't know if we should go near it. It's okay, Morty. Morty, listen. Listen, we're gonna frack hell, Morty. We're gonna make so much energy, Morty. We're gonna frack hell, and then we're gonna build more oil derricks on hell. Oh, I don't know if that's such a good idea, Rick. What about these demons? It's fine. It's fine. I got the Doomslayer. It's okay. It's okay. I got this double-barreled shotgun. Here you go, Morty. You kill all the demons while I frack hell. Oh! So on and so forth. End scene.
Bravo.
You're welcome. Cartoon Network, if you want to hire someone even cheaper than the voice actors you probably got to replace Justin Roiland, let me know. I'll hurt
Even
myself.
cheaper and less accurate.
Cheaper and less accurate.
Cheaper and less accurate, raves the New York Times.
About Napoleon.
Hey.
Heyo. No, I respect Ridley Scott for saying historians are nerds as a historian.
Yeah. I mean, yes.
They
But at
are,
the
in
same,
fact, nerds.
but at the same time, don't watch that movie.
Is it not a good movie? Or is it an inaccurate portrayal of Napoleon, and that's the problem?
It's an inaccurate portrayal of Napoleon.
Yeah, but
What if I didn't care?
what if you didn't care? Because
Oh,
Napoleon
well,
seems like a
What if I'm
dad.
just looking for a good movie?
Yeah, what if I
Napoleon
just want to
made
see
more
a fun
money
movie?
than that Disney movie no one saw.
Wish?
Oh,
Wish.
I mean, most things made more money than that movie. I mean, if you don't care and you don't want to watch a fun movie, go see Aquaman 2.
I
No.
don't.
I'm not
Do
watching
it.
another
Did they
fucking
figure out-
superhero movie.
It's fun. There's fish in it.
What
There's
did they
crab
do
people.
with what's her name?
They gave her fewer scenes.
Okay, they're
And
not
it
just
left
talking
her out of
to.
the marketing.
They're not just
Listen,
talking to Amber Heard off camera.
Yeah, it's like,
No.
oh, she died on her way to her home planet.
Yeah.
No,
Died on her way to her domestic abuse trial.
no, she's in there, fewer scenes, and they left her out of the marketing entirely.
And also, you know, she was too busy cosplaying as Mercy for Elon.
What?
Oh boy.
Did you hear that story?
No.
Amber Heard and Elon briefly dated.
No, thank you.
I would believe it.
And he had her cosplay as Mercy from Overwatch,
Kinky.
the video game.
I'm really upset that we can know what his kinks are.
I'm upset that
Yeah,
you
the
told
entire,
me this.
as the last DC expand film universe before James Gunn just reboots the entire thing. Very excited for Aquaman 2.
I mean, hopefully he keeps Jason Momoa around because he's fun.
I think James Wan, I respect him for being a guy who,
For sticking around that long.
yeah, for being the guy who's like, I'm gonna make a Aquaman movie that makes $1 billion, and then I'm going to use all of my Hollywood cachet to make Malignant, which is apparently
Are the
just.
Malignant movies not good?
Malignant seems great. It seems bananas.
It's also just gnarly, right?
Yeah, it's like he basically made a modern Italian giallo film
Yeah.
and tricked Hollywood studios into funding it.
Which good for him. But no,
Yeah,
those
honestly.
those Aquaman movies were the most consistently okay DC movies for the whole run.
I mean, there's only 2 of them,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I like Birds of Prey and the James Gunn Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Birds of Prey, James Gunn's Suicide Squad, the first Wonder Woman, and the Aquaman movies were the decent to good DC ones.
Okay, but
Everything else is
Wonder
yikes.
Woman. Consider Wonder Woman 84.
That's what
thank
I'm
you.
saying, consistently good.
A movie where Pedro Pascal is having the time of his life, and
As he
also in the plot of the film, Wonder Woman has a man uses her wish power to have a man be possessed by Chris Pine against his
Right.
consent.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
right.
84 is
That
dire.
movie is.
And they get Kristen Wiig to play Chitara,
Yeah.
and Kristen Wiig's trying. She's like, I'm gonna be a serious actress in this one.
I'm gonna be an
And it's like,
evil
uh-oh,
woman
sorry,
who
it was-
turns
it
into
was
a
this
cheetah
movie.
woman.
That's why I said
Yes.
consistently good, because
Oh,
the first Wonder
yeah,
Woman was
Lionheart,
good.
to be
The second
clear,
one.
The only Silver Age DC comics all Silver Age comics are silly and bad. And
Yeah, that was the point.
that's the point, because they were for children.
Yes.
And also, you weren't allowed to
To do anything.
do
in those-
anything cool because
Because of decency laws.
because of the Hays Code or whatever.
The
Hays Code was movies.
No, Hays
The,
Code was movies.
the, Lemon
the
Rule?
Comics Code. Comics Code Authority. Yeah. It's like, and listen, the way Stan Lee wrote all of those comics was very much like assembly line.
Yeah, it's like you have half an idea, you crap it out as fast as possible.
Because
go on to the
remember,
next
like,
half idea.
it was also like literally just have the artist draw the panels and then
Write the
Lee
story
would
around
write
it.
the speech bubbles. And they'd be like,
So they just
Excelsior.
They just drew some wild shit, and then he was like, I guess this is what he's saying.
Did Stan Lee do anything that was actually good?
I mean,
more comic books good.
He made comic books like he made comic books relevant to a mass audience.
He created a lot of
But
very
does anything-
successful characters.
He
Does
created a
anything
lot of
hold up?
beloved characters that men in their 30s and 40s still identify too strongly with.
Yeah, Stan Lee was part of a team. That was him, Ditko, other guys.
Yeah, Ditko.
They all collaboratively made those characters.
Yeah.
Kirby, yeah.
Yes. See, Kirby's the guy who actually leaned into it. And I have to respect that. Sometimes you have a martyr
For a
complex
long
and
time-
you love Spider-Man.
Yes, Jonsu. Correct.
Look,
I
sometimes, for a long time, when people said Stan Lee worked with Kirby, I imagined in my head Kirby from Nintendo.
yeah.
Yes.
And that was very fun for me.
He would, if in his later years, if given the opportunity.
Stan Lee was a by all accounts his tenure as like in the management side of Marvel, he was an asshole and they forced him out eventually.
By all
But,
accounts, Stan
he
Lee was the
eventually
only
came
one who could
back
meet
as like,
deadlines.
the brand ambassador.
The guy who would show up in the movies and be like,
Yeah.
Excelsior.
And, he got work done. He made the Spider-Man comics. For the cigar chomping guy being like, we need to sell more of these books to kids. These action comics. Listen, you're telling me this kid's he's got spider powers? That'll never
You
sell.
got spider juice? Radiation, that's what sells. Can we combine the spiders with radiation?
What if the kid was really angry and turned into a big gray monster at night?
Green monster? Okay.
Green?
That
Wait,
works.
you're telling me, alright, what if we made him green and we made him have radiation? Yes, Chris Claremont is, and his... I was shocked to discover that Chris Claremont was in charge of X-Men stuff for like 20 years. And
Was that before X-Men got weird?
That was when that's when X-Men was just a soap opera. That's what Claremont discovered, is that if you make comics just a soap opera for boys, they'll do it. They'll eat it up.
That they will.
And now, professional wrestling's a soap opera, but with more fake violence.
But hasn't
And carny
professional
shit.
wrestling been a soap opera since like the 80s?
Oh, for sure.
It's always been.
It's always been. Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. And everything I know about modern X-Men sounds incredibly lame. But
Yeah,
that's...
modern X-Men is kind of... It went off the rails a while ago. And it's out. And it's so far off the rails, it's out in space.
Are you telling me that
They
watching those first
literally
two
have a
movies
mutant
and Logan
colony.
is the best way to enjoy X-Men?
Yes, watch the movies.
I'm saying, please look forward to Insomniac's Wolverine game.
Yeah. I mean, X-Men got to the point, like, a few years ago where they just said, yeah, you know what, Magneto was right the whole time.
Okay.
Which is a place to go,
Accurate.
certainly. But, you know...
There's not a lot of coming back from that, though.
No. No, like having Professor X, Magneto, and Apocalypse, you know, team up and be like, yeah, no, actually, we're all on the same page now.
Yeah, and yeah. I think Cyclops got infected with the Phoenix Force for a bit.
Like, it's a very, very different thing now.
Also, Cyclops just sucks.
He does just suck, yeah.
And that's my consistent take, is that Scott Summers has always sucked.
He has always sucked. He's always been the lamest of the characters. Making him the main guy because he is the he's the everyman. He's the everyman mutant.
He's the straight white guy, so he was like the team captain.
He's not Canadian
for a long time.
or short like Wolverine.
Yes.
Which is what everyone wants.
Again, that's
let me
like
tell you
traditional
about-
X-Men, though.
Listen, if Cyclops, abandoned by his dad, who went to space and became Corsair,
A space pirate.
a space pirate.
What?
Yeah, his dad's a space pirate.
Yeah, Cyclops
What?
and Havoc's dad is a space pirate.
Sure, why not? I guess. Sure.
Once again, the 70s. Gino.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, Cyclops isn't the main character anymore. Like, that's like classic X-Men, where he was the team captain of like.
And
the
also, I
X-Men
don't
team.
envy anyone who's like, all right, we're gonna finally get the new mutant generation, and these kids are gonna be a different metaphor for embattled minorities who can also shoot lasers and are dangerous. Because that's the ultimate. That's my ultimate problem with when people really lean into the metaphor side of X-Men, where it's like, oh, these mutants are just misunderstood minorities. Like, no. Because gay people can't shoot lasers out of their eyes.
I mean, the world would
You haven't been
probably be
hanging
a
out
better
with the
place
right-
if they could. Like, let's put it out there.
You haven't been hanging out with the right gay people, sorry.
Yeah, you're right. Where do his power blasts come from? His eyes. Trick question.
Yep. Oh god, I hate that. Where do the power blasts come from? Look. Cyclops power. Okay.
Oh, no.
Braden, tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me when I'm wrong if
Okay.
I'm wrong. Okay.
What is this?
His crazy eye beams
Uh-huh.
do not, in fact, they don't originate from his eyes,
Oh.
like you might think. Instead, his eyes are tiny portals to a dimension of pure energy.
Uh-huh. That sounds like
Aw.
something that someone would have written in the 1970s.
So he is not actually generating the beams. He is merely the vehicle
He is a
through which the
conduit.
beams flow. Yes.
Sure.
I know
Why
about
not?
the punch dimension. Yes.
Look, this is the same universe where Mr. Fantastic's son can create entire universes with his mind.
Yeah.
Like, sure.
Sure, why not? Drugs.
And this is why it's always
feel like
awkward
there's
when
a-
they have the X-Men interact with the rest of the broader Marvel universe. Except when you have
yeah.
Wolverine on the Avengers sometimes.
Yeah, Wolverine is somehow the only one who's chill hanging out with non-mutants.
But like Wolverine's power isn't totally ridiculous. Like it kind of is. The healing is especially, but it's not stupid.
I mean, his
healing
real
is
superpower
depending
is
on
being
how
Canadian and
much.
saying bub.
Yeah, I know, the Canadian part is where it goes
And
too
being
far.
voiced by Steve Bloom in almost every media appearance I care about.
Yeah, it's that, like, Wolverine,
Will
ways to
Steve
make...
Bloom voice Wolverine in the Insomniac game?
Hope so.
I hope so.
I hope so. Because he can do Pathos Wolverine. Just as much as he can do, yeah, listen here, kid.
There are ways to do Wolverine where he is not overpowered and ridiculous. There are not ways to do some of the other characters where they are not overpowered and ridiculous. You can tell ground level stories with Wolverine in a way you can't with.
You can tell not only
Dangerous.
ground level stories with Wolverine. You can also be like, what if he was in Japan? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Samurais.
What? Yeah. What if Wolverine fought samurais for some reason?
Yeah, the only time Wolverine gets really ridiculous is when they're like, "What if he got reduced to bones?
Yeah.
Do you think he could heal back from that?" And it's like,
Oh,
and
God,
then
that-
the answer has to be yes.
I'm just getting a flashback to like Ultimate Marvel where he gets his head ripped off and he has to regrow his body from his head.
Oh,
It takes a
boy.
while.
I had some.
Oh,
I
it's
was
Marvel.
reminded of the Marvel Ultimate Universe, and apparently they have brought
What?
it back in some capacity.
They brought the name back because they merged the universe into the main one.
Yeah, and the only
a
thing
while
they
ago.
kept was Miles Morales.
And also X-23, I think.
Yeah, which
Yeah, something like
X-23 also seems like a character who has been gravely mishandled.
Yeah.
There's
What is the good way to handle X-23?
She's girl Wolverine.
She's a Wolverine, but what if Wolverine was a teen girl?
Yeah, but what? That's how they always do it. How
Yeah.
is that different from?
Is
Uh,
X-23 what the little girl in Logan is supposed to be,
Yes.
or the
Yes.
girl in X-Men 2?
No,
No,
that's
that's,
Lady
the
Deathstrike.
Logan girl. Yeah, it's Lady
A
Deathstrike.
different character with adamantium claws.
That's Logan's ex-girlfriend.
Oh, so X-23 just calls herself Wolverine now? Good for her.
Yeah, she's basically like when Hawkeye or whatever becomes Captain
When
America.
Kate
With
Bishop
Falcon.
is Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, and Falcon is
Bye,
Captain
Dad.
America. Okay.
Is Logan also dead in the current comics, or
Absolutely.
Or did he just leave? He can't die, that's the point.
You can't kill Wolverine except when they killed him in the Ultimate Universe.
Exactly.
How'd they kill him?
Making progress.
Magneto just
I
did
think
the metal thing to him.
Yeah, I think Magneto just fucking melted him.
Yeah, Magneto, I think, vibrated his metal stuff so much that he just disintegrated.
The Ultimate Universe seems very edgelordy and very.
Oh, yeah, it
remember-
wasn't.
Yeah, it's like Magneto got Mjolnir and killed thousands of people, including like half of the superheroes you care about.
Yeah, Ultimatum is maybe one of the more questionable events.
Also, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch are fucking each other because it's edgy.
Wait,
Incest.
It's edgy.
wait, aren't they?
Yes. Yes. They're doing the Lannister thing.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah, it's edgy that
Edgy.
two
You
members
know,
of the
like the
Avengers are
Lannisters.
also weird incestuous twins.
Okay.
But hey, we got Miles Morales out of it.
Thanks for
Yeah.
telling me things I never wanted to know.
We got
Yeah,
Miles
don't-
Morales out of it.
We got Miles Morales out of it, yes.
And
I'm checking
people
the
seem to like
Discord.
Ultimate Spider-Man
heart.
in general. That seems like the only one people liked. Okay,
Oh,
I'm
no.
checking the Discord. See, I'm not against the concept of, like, what if the Fantastic Four were teens? I can't, it won't.
There. Oh, thank God. You're not one of them.
It's bad.
Everyone else was
Yeah.
gone.
What's in there is bad.
I was part of this. I helped them. The madness of opening to another dimension. Look, I don't. We don't have much time. We let it through. The evil, the protective stabilizer on the portal just failed.
Yeah, I'm pretty
So we
glad
took
that
the
I don't.
device. It was
I
an
was
artifact
never
we found
super
in
into
ruins.
comics.
He took it into the portal, and hell followed.
Well,
Yeah,
do you know,
he's got,
did
like,
you
a
find
drop
out,
bomber
did you
very
find out
fast.
what they did to Miss Marvel?
Oh.
Going
In
to
what?
try to get
What
the
they
Wait,
did to
in what?
Kamala Khan?
again.
In
The
what?
areas are
In
Because
what?
of the
So
MCU?
it's the only way.
Oh, the MCU Kamala
No.
Khan stuff isn't that bad.
No,
That's
no,
not that bad.
specifically the way they, Bye, Mom. My bad.
Yes, they made her a mutant instead of an Inhuman because they weren't going to push Inhumans in the
Yeah,
MCU.
And,
which
and so,
I know
Whatever.
about that.
but they killed her off
What's bad
in the
about that?
MCU in a Spider-Man comic, despite the fact that Kamala Khan
Not
and
the
Spider-Man
MCU.
never interact.
wait, I mean they cut her off in the comics.
Yeah, and then they immediately brought her back as a mutant.
Oh, okay.
Dude, it was a whole thing. Like, it leaked onto the internet, and everyone was making fun of it.
Yeah, well, I mean, wait, which Spider-Man? Because she's friends with Miles Morales.
No, she dies to save Peter Parker.
Decontamination complete.
Oh.
Have a
And
nice
she's
day.
killed
Kinda
off
like-
in like the most insulting way possible, just so they can bring her back and make her a mutant, because that's what she is in
In the MCU. Yeah.
Speaking of movies that
okay.
no one saw, The Marvels.
I saw that movie.
I'm sure it's fine.
It's okay. So the Marvels. The Marvels is a thing. It's a whole thing.
Having
bet it
a
is.
movie where 2 of the 3 characters that are central to the film were introduced in direct to streaming TV shows,
That I didn't.
Yes.
Yeah.
that seems like a bad idea.
I mean, it could have worked if they had a more coherent script.
I know that
Oh,
the
so
woman
that's
who
what
was a
Claude
minor
Mona's reason.
character in the what's it called?
Well, Monica Rambeau was
Yes, her.
was a kid in the original Captain Marvel, and then she was a side character in WandaVision.
Yes, that's it. WandaVision was.
Yes.
And-
Yes,
referencing.
Lionheart,
And-
I am aware of this thing you are talking about. When Carol Danvers was still
Have a
Ms.
nice
Marvel.
day.
Oh no, not that! Don't
And,
talk about
yeah.
that.
What?
That was the
what's
80s.
thing?
The 80s was a mistake.
Oh. The whole decade was a
Okay, but
mistake.
consider the 90s.
Also a mistake.
A bigger mistake.
Much bigger mistake for comic books.
Okay, which decade wasn't a mistake?
For comic books, they're all mistakes because comic books are actually kind of bad.
They're just different mistakes.
Yeah,
There's
they're
like
all
a good
different
comic book that
mistakes.
comes up every decade, and then the rest are trash. And like
Decontamination process
2/3 of the good ones are written
People,
by
yeah,
was it Alan
listen, the
Moore?
Dark Knight,
Yeah,
the
pretty
Dark
much.
Knight Returns,
Decontamination complete.
dessert.
Have a nice day.
They're I'm saying
it was
that,
very different for the time.
Frank Miller needs to be tried in The Hague
Yes.
for convincing an entire generation of men that Batman needs to be dark and gritty at all times.
Yeah. I mean, it was different for the time, and
Yeah,
that was something.
that
but
that graphic novel is great.
it is a good graphic novel. The sequel was really bad, but that was a good graphic novel.
Listen, 9/11 did a lot of things to Frank Miller.
Yes.
That's not even me doing a joke.
Oh yeah, no,
He
I know.
wrote a comic called Holy Terror, which is about a man who just murders Muslims.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
He murders the
So,
jihadists.
Lionheart, WWK says I always compare the 360 era to 90s comics.
Oh,
I
that's
think that's
mean.
a fair comp.
That's mean for the 360 era.
what is the Venom solo
Decontamination
comic
complete.
of 360
Have a nice
games? When Venom
The
got his own
Spawn
series.
game. The Spawn game.
Or
Was that
what is
360?
Oh no, sorry, that was original Xbox. Sorry,
Yeah.
360. Is it Gears of War?
Medal of Honor Warfighter.
I'll accept that.
Prototype. Oh yeah, Prototype was the spawn of video games.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
How do we feel
Yeah.
about Prototype?
Prototype's a
2?
good call.
What I saw of
Prototype
Joku
2 is a
playing
classic.
Prototype 2, that game seems more fun and more self-aware. And
Prototype 2 is a
also, the
classic.
guy's like, I hate computers.
I hate computers. Yeah, no, it's a classic.
I fucking hate computers. And
Oh
you're
yeah,
like,
Haze.
This is
Yeah,
great.
no. Yes, I
He
love
is
video
so
games. and Haze is
aggro.
the shit.
Haze.
Yeah, I guess.
It is the crank of video games.
Haze is
Like-
the solo Venom comic of video games. You're right.
Like parts of the late aughts in video games was the Attitude Era, but not all of it.
Most of it.
I feel like
A
the
lot of
early
it.
2000s had more of a like grim dark.
Like Blood
everything's
Rain.
awful. Yeah.
Yeah, Blood Rain, she kills Nazis, though. Consider that.
Yeah,
Also,
she's
one of
a
my
hot lady
favorite
who's a
about video
vampire.
voice acting roles. I believe also
The
one of Troy
Blood
Baker's.
Rain,
Halon systems active.
like, hey, we're gonna make the
Access
Blood Rain
denied.
person a pinup model because our characters.
Oh
are
yeah,
so
that
fucking
is
hot.
the most early aughts thing imaginable.
Yes. I mean, like Wet. That's also just Wet as well. Remember Wet?
Yes.
I do remember
I
Wet.
do remember the movie Wet.
I do
No,
remember
the
the
game
game
Wet.
Wet from the developers
Game Wet.
of Dead
Sorry, the
by
game
Daylight. Artificial Mind and Movement, also known as A2M. Weirdly
Oh,
enough,
yeah.
they changed that.
Do any of those games hold up as like games to play,
Wet.
not just
What?
ironic stuff to make
I
fun
don't
of?
know.
recall
How do you feel
seeing
about
a-
Eliza Dushku?
I mean, Wet was like fine when it came out. It was whatever. It was very mid. Wet was a very mid game.
There was a video by a YouTuber named Racevic who looked at Wet, and it seemed not great. Like, not the worst thing you ever touched, but no reason to
I mean,
go
it's
play it.
yeah. I am playing an early aughts game right now. You're right. This is an early aughts game. It's Doom, but what if Doom was dark and gritty instead of like camp? What if instead of literally just taking entire guitar riffs from Pantera and shoving them into MIDI, it was dark?
Jatsu, I think 2003, if I recall correctly. Was Doom
They-
3.
They pulled more from Metallica than Pantera in those old stuff.
I-
And I'm not being technical, I'm saying I'd rather not talk about Pantera.
Okay. I'm just saying Bobby Prince, he liked a lot of metal music of the 80s.
Well, no, Lionheart, you're thinking of Killzone. What if Halo was gritty?
Yeah, Halo, what if Halo was gritty as Killzone? Which, let me tell you about.
Rico! Yeah.
At some point I'll play
Garza.
Killzone 2.
Ugh, Killzone
Man, Killzone 2.
2.
Killzone 2, one of the first times people realized video game trailers could just lie.
Uh-huh.
Because you see, gamers
Hey,
are very credulous people.
to be fair, like, Killzone 2 is still technically an incredible game.
Oh yeah.
Just not what was promised.
What if it takes... but consider this. What if every time you wanted to reload your gun, it took like 15 seconds?
I mean, you have regenerating health and plenty of cover, so just duck. I don't think you have to do this.
I don't have to do
Yeah,
this?
I don't think you have to do this one. Maybe you might. I don't remember.
I just remember trying to play Killzone 2 after I played Halo.
Oh no,
and
you
was
just
like,
got to get
what
up
is
there
happening?
to that crawl space.
I got to the last level or second last level of Killzone 2, and then just gave up. Like I was almost
I
at
gave
the
up
end.
pretty earlier than that.
I was almost at the end, and I was like, no, this isn't worth it. Like this last half hour to an hour, not worth it.
Was just not prepared for that game to be so sluggish.
It felt so bad. All those PS3 shooters felt bad. Basic control was
And
bad.
as soon as Halo stopped being relevant and Call of Duty became the thing, there became no reason for Sony to have
Give
their
no
own,
reason to what?
They have shooters.
Halo Killer.
to have their because they also did Resistance. They had two Halo
Resistance was
killers.
so bad. Oh my god, this is
Resistance 3 is
2
pretty
was so
good.
bad.
Resistance
Resistance
2.
2 is awful.
How
Resistance
dare you.
3 is
Terrible.
pretty good.
Okay, sure, yes. Resistance 3, okay. First Resistance, it was okay for the time. Resistance 2, trash.
But it's like Insomniac's never gonna make another Resistance game, and
Good.
Guerrilla is never gonna make.
My
Another
understanding is
Killzone.
there were 4 of those Resistance games, and none of them made any profit whatsoever. One of them was on PSP.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh right.
Yeah, I mean, how
Horrifying.
could I forget about Killzone Liberation?
Yes,
The
there
Vita.
there were Killzone games on the PSP and Vita. There were as many mobile handheld Killzone games as console Killzone games.
I meant to say Resistance, but yeah,
Yeah.
there are 4 of those, and none of them made a profit. Killzone games, my understanding is, did okay, especially 2 and 3. But yeah, Resistance 3 was good because it's basically Half-Life 2.
Meanwhile,
Just play
I've
Half-Life 2.
I've expressed how Killzone 1 might be one of the worst things I played for that dubious FPS wheel.
Wow.
I'm not even
saying
I'm not
something.
even like doing a bit.
No, I believe you.
That
I remember
game
Killzone 1 being
is
absolutely fine.
Oh, dude, it is one of the more miserable streams I did for that particular feature. I have not yet played Black. I have Black.
But Black is more funny than bad,
Black,
right?
at least.
Black knows what it is. Black knows exactly what it is.
Yeah.
But
Also,
wait,
it's from the
if we're
Burnout people.
If you're talking about bad shooters, did you ever play Homefront?
No.
Oh.
That just seems boring.
The thing about, like, so my rationale when I did the first set of dubious FPS games was like, I don't want to get too far into the 360 era because everything turns into a bad Call of Duty clone.
That's fair.
You played Fear 3 and you paid your dues.
Yeah, I played Fear 3.
3 about well, how do you say that? For threer?
For threer.
Threer.
Which, Fear 3
threer.
is also a terrible video game.
Yes. So the fall damage in Doom 3 seems a bit severe.
I don't know if
This
it's the fall
particular
damage or
puzzle
if it's
is a
I'm getting
janky
crushed
fucker.
by something.
John Carmack did not program this puzzle correctly.
So
I don't even know what this puzzle is supposed to be.
You're supposed to get up to that platform up there, I think.
That bloody
So you can get into the
thing?
crawl space.
Yeah, the bloody crawl space. So the secret is that the PS1 generation actually has the worst FPSs for consoles.
I
mean, yes,
console
but
FPSs in general were bad.
Get a leak. Get a leak.
They just got the second thumbstick. They didn't know what to do.
Get a leak. No, PS1.
I know. They
PS1
They didn't
had
get that
PS1
second
controller.
thumbstick until '98.
Yeah, no, like
I thought that controller came out in '97. Anyway, no, you
When
could
did
play.
Escape come out?
I have one.
so few games use it though.
I would argue that a lot of games had the option to use it, especially later on. So you could play. There was Disruptor. There was the
Aliens
Quake 2
Resurrection.
ports, the Doom ports.
Which,
Yes, the
people-
Doom port was good.
One of the
Yes.
people like the PSX Doom.
I like it. Yes, I'm one of those people who likes the PSX too. See, it's easier to count like the good to decent FPSs on the PlayStation 1 than the bad ones because there were so many bad ones.
What I'm saying is there were decent FPS games
Yeah.
you could play on PS1 at the time.
Yeah, I'm not saying there weren't. I'm just saying that overwhelmingly
Alarm systems deactivated.
there were bad games.
But yeah, they did. Their controls on those PSX shooters were not optimal.
Go play Quarantine and get back to me.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Go
Yeah,
play any
L1 and
Yankee
R1,
shooter.
just
Get
straight,
back to
yeah.
me. Yes.
But weirdly enough, if you wanted to play console shooters in that era, you wanted a Nintendo 64, which
You
is
sure did.
still a strange sentence to say.
I mean, the alternatives weren't great.
I don't listen. I don't.
Well,
love
yeah, you could play
GoldenEye.
Banjo-Tooie.
Yeah, you played the Banjo-Tooie multiplayer, which is just the GoldenEye multiplayer, but you shoot eggs.
I mean, okay, the real dark secret is if you want to play a pre-Quake era shooter on a console, the Jaguar is the answer.
Yeah, you play AVP for the Jaguar.
Or you play Doom or Wolfenstein for the Jaguar.
Yeah, because Carmack programmed those
Those were
himself.
good ports. Those were good ports.
And the Jaguar version of Doom is the one that most other console versions of Doom are based on.
Yes, I have a chart. I made a chart.
Made a chart.
I made a chart.
Until the original Xbox, where you could get
Where it's
Doom
just
1
Doom.
and 2.
Yeah.
Where it's just Doom
Like,
at that point.
that's
Yeah.
I think that's the first time that like full fat Doom 1 and 2 in their original PC version forms got ported to console.
Yes.
Yeah.
But before that, everything was based on the Jaguar version.
Yeah. The story of Rebecca Heinemann single-handedly programming the entire 3DO version of Doom 1 in the course of 6 weeks.
It's harrowing.
It's harrowing. And, like, the fact that thing runs at all is impressive. It doesn't run well, but it runs.
It could have run worse.
She got it to run. WWK, I think that is a debatable topic.
I mean, the thing with
3D
that is
action game, sure.
Like the N64 was able to do fully polygonal everything because it had more processing power than ROM in that thing, right? Like you
RAM?
have ROM because the cartridges were small.
The cartridges were the problem with the N64 was always the cartridges could only hold like 64 megabytes.
Like
whereas
16 or 32 megabytes.
I thought Mario 64 was a 64 megabyte game.
No, it's like 16. It's Resident Evil 2 is 64, I think.
Yeah, but my point is, like, the PS1 was actually significantly less powerful, but CDs could hold 700 megabytes of data.
And you have multiple of them too. Like Final Fantasy 8 is like 1.5 gigs or something.
Yeah. So like.
So that's why N64 games look closer to modern games than PS1 games, because they're actually rendering everything in polygonal 3D instead of taking shortcuts with like pre-rendered backgrounds and stuff like that.
And yet they got housed.
And yeah, no, I mean, because in 64, those games were a maximum of like 32 megabytes. You couldn't do very much on the N64.
Yeah.
And the Sega Saturn was just the worst of all worlds.
The sorcery that made Vagrant Story run is just so profoundly.
That game is apparently less than 100 megabytes.
Yes.
It is.
Really?
It's astounding.
Oh, wow.
It's one of the most incredible technical feats I've ever seen.
Then you should read up on the Resident Evil 2 port for N64.
Well, that was just compression technology.
No, they did a lot of redesign.
Yeah,
to make it work. They remade the game.
They took a lot of polygons from like Leon's model.
Like that was a Herculean effort to make that work.
The fact that they did moving mouths in Vagrant Story with like 50 megabytes.
Yeah.
Incredible. All with textures. There's lighting in that game.
The thing that should be pointed out is like games don't like textures and 3D environments like this aren't always what takes up as much space as you think. Pre-rendered cutscenes take up a lot of space.
Sure,
I also have
that's just video files.
RE2 for N64. I no longer have a Nintendo 64, but
yeah, but hold on to that cartridge.
Yeah, but I have that cart.
Oh yeah, and Lionheart, yes, the Saturn was good for 2D fighting games and almost nothing else.
It's once again, it's why Panzer Dragoon Saga is so bananas.
Like, because it shouldn't be good. Panzer Dragoon Saga should not be good, but it is.
Some would argue that it's one of the best games of the year.
Yeah,
that we played.
Someone might have argued that in a podcast, perhaps. Who knows? Someone being me.
Spoilers.
But yeah, the Saturn was a sprite-focused console with a processing architecture that only 12 guys understood. In an era where Sony had to had a 3D polygon console that was relatively easy to understand the processing for.
No, like, the thing about Panzer Dragoon Saga is that it's worth most of that hype. Even if, like, it definitely does, like, lose steam. But in terms of, like... In terms of, like, rare or obscure video games that have these cult followings, I do genuinely think, Panzer Dragoon Saga is, like...
I think there's a thing on that computer you have to click on.
This one?
Oh, no, back where that guy slumped over it.
Yeah, like Panzer Dragoon Saga, I mean, the hype is so big because of the rarity, but, you know, even just getting, like, 2/3 of the way to, like, the amount of hype for it still makes it a very good game.
Yeah, because 6 people played it.
Yes. And they all said it was the best game ever made. It's not the best game ever made, but still quite good.
It is very novel and cool. In a way that a lot of... As someone who has played a decent amount, not a huge amount, of, like, menu-based JRPGs from that era, it sticks out. Because I'm not the biggest...
Yeah, but you see, my WWK, or my Earthbound's for sickos. So that's why you got burned to buy it.
See,
But
Earthbound is just people being like, yo, you ever think... Like, the people who are, like, actually... Gygas is, like, an aborted baby or whatever, are the worst people.
Like,
What?
correct me if I'm wrong, but my impression is it's the same type of nerd as, like, Homestuck nerds.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's people
Yeah.
who, like... Who will go to bat for quirky and touchy-feely over all else.
And this is bad?
Yes.
Because when there's not much else to it, or, like, everything else is done kind of poorly.
I mean, Earthbound is fine.
It's okay, I guess.
Listen, you beat up hippies with a baseball bat. It's like weird and mundane, but also silly.
Yes, like, it does have that vibe going on, and that's what carries it.
Yeah, because it's not like an amazing JRPG.
No. No, it's not. Panzer Dragoon Saga, it fulfills like 2/3 of the hype, but the hype is that it's the best game ever made. So being 2/3 of the way there is still pretty good.
I do think
my final
Earthbound
word
is
on
like a less impressive game in a world where everyone just pirated it.
I would say that Yakuza Like a Dragon is funnier about its quirky nonsense.
Yeah.
But it's also a modern game, so, like, you know, it's built off of decades of learning how to do that correctly. Like, video games have gotten weirder and crazier in the last,
Yeah,
you know,
quirky
30
Japanese
years.
games are retrieve the plasma inducer from the operations sector server room.
Like, they've gotten quirkier and wackier and crazier over the decades, you know? Because you can't be less quirky than the last quirky game, because then no one's going to care.
Yeah, and also people are just okay with weird Japanese games now.
Like, Earthbound was a pre-Katamari video game. Like, if you want to be quirky in a post-Katamari world, you got to earn it.
And some level of respect does have to go there because, hey, it sure is weird. Like, there's a world where Earthbound almost never came out in the United States. Instead of coming out in the United States and no one playing it until they just pirated it.
Yeah.
This is once again my the same as my Ark the Lad is not real stance. Ark the Lad is a psyop designed to trick you into thinking there are more PSX JRPGs than there are.
Okay, so how many PSX JRPGs are there? Because my count's like around 50.
There are a bajillion, but Ark the Lad is just an elaborate joke.
Oh, I see. Wait, do we mean overall or like in English?
I mean, I know it's... listen, if you want to tell me Vic Ireland made up Ark the Lad as a joke, I would believe that. That seems like something he'd do.
Yeah, alright.
They sure did remake Tales of Destiny for PS2.
Excellent. That will get the teleporter working again.
That has a translation patch, I believe.
You're going to need to teleport across the containment chamber. It's the only way to do this.
Okay.
Could you play Tales of Symphonia though, Lionheart? Should you?
I mean, so here's the thing. I say, I appreciated Tales of Symphonia being my first one. Because, it was mostly uphill from there.
Decontamination complete.
Yeah.
The later
Alright,
games are a little more, either have less chaff or better combat.
Systems
Yeah.
activated. Teleportation
Except for
commenced in
Tales of
2
Symphonia
hours.
Dawn of the New World, which is an actual off-the-deep-end tiered video game.
Yeah.
That thing is one of... I'm not going to say one
Mind-boggling.
of the worst things I've played, because I've played far worse. They're far less functional video games. But...
Is it just an inexplicable fuck up?
Yeah,
Is
just
that
like
how you describe it?
you make you make a direct sequel to the last video game.
Real
And
quick,
it's about-
it will never
No, there are
not be
worse Wii
funny.
games, WWK.
Yeah.
It
There
will
are
not be
worse
never
Wii
funny.
games.
It will never not be funny that you did all that stuff to just teleport 5 feet over a
Yeah.
chasm.
Anyway, courage is the magic that brings that turns dreams into reality.
Of course.
That seems like something that would be in the out of
That sounds like a
context
Tales
quotes.
Oh, but anyway, so Lionheart, I suggest playing the Tales games in order. Since you played Fantasia already, just play the next one that came out, and just keep going in order.
Okay, but what about the ones that only came out in Japan, like the one with the werewolf man?
Learn Japanese and get good.
The pre-Symphonia Tales games seem like their own thing,
Yeah.
and maybe not what I want. Although I'll say right now, I still have my copy of Legendia, waiting for, because that was going to be, Legendia was going to be a off the deep end game, and then instead we decided to do fan picks.
Fan picks.
Fan picks.
Oh, so do paying members of the Deep Listens community want to get the one suggestion a lifetime, or is it like one per year?
You can pay more money, and we will let you make another suggestion.
Oh, that's how it works. Okay.
We need to. I mean, ZP and I need to figure out some of the logistics around that going forward. For reasons.
How much would it be worth to make ZP play a handheld Kingdom Hearts game?
Do you
mean-
have to play it on the handheld?
I mean, you can emulate it, but
I mean, the handheld version of Chain of Memories is better than the PS2 remake.
all right. What about
That's the
Dream
one you were
Drop
thinking of?
Distance? Or 365 over 2 days?
What's the other DS one that came out like at the
Recoded.
very end? Yeah.
Oh, Decoded. That most
Recoded
nothing.
is
Almost
a
nothing
phone
game.
game that they then
Yeah.
remade for the DS. And also, it is the one Kingdom Hearts game that has actually no relevance to the plot.
All right, so let's make CP play Birth by Sleep because that has nothing to do because that's like the prequel
Yeah,
one, right?
Birth by Sleep is the prequel that basically explains why Sora, Donald, and Goofy gotta go on adventures.
So that should be like the one Kingdom Hearts game that ZP plays.
Here's the thing, it's pretty good. There's some real PSP.
I have to say, isn't Birth by Sleep generally considered to be one of the best ones?
I think Birth by Sleep is quite good. Even though
Also,
there's some
a
PSP energy to that game.
Also, there's a PS3 version of that game that just works way better.
All right,
Okay,
I'm gonna.
all right. So
I will be right back. I
all right,
need to
so
refill my water and so on.
I will keep them entertained. All right,
them
so
entertained.
everyone, co-host and chat, which non-numbered Kingdom Hearts game would baffle ZP the most? Like that's what I'm really looking for. So Birth by Sleep.
I don't think that would baffle him the most. He would get irritated having to play it 3 times. List of Kingdom Hearts games.
Like
There's
365 over
1,
2
Chain of Memory
seems
2, coded.
like a bunch of nonsense.
Mobile.
Like
358 over 2 is
358 over 2.
But it would be weird to control, but I don't think it'd be as baffling. But if it's a non-numbered game, then it looks like your options are Chain of Memories, Coded, which is also recoded.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts Mobile, which is probably not functioning anymore.
That's
358 over 2 days, Birth by Sleep, Dream Drop Distance. Kingdom Hearts X, which are Unchained
That's
X,
Kingdom Hearts
which
Cross.
that's probably not.
No, that's a mobile thing.
And then Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue, which I would only suggest if he is required to say the entire name from beginning to end every time he needs to talk about it.
Actually, yes. No, that's the correct answer. Have Off the Deep End play 2.8. Only 2.8, nothing else.
HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue. And again, they got to say the entire name every time.
Like, no other games Kingdom Hearts series, no context, just 2.8. That would be good. That would be good.
Why is this lady named after water again?
Who knows? It's an anime name.
I don't know. I'm just saying that's one of the questions that we asked.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Like, that would be the most baffling first Kingdom Hearts experience, right?
I don't know. So here's the thing. I beat Kingdom Hearts 1. I played pretty much all of, but didn't quite beat Birth by Sleep because I played it on a PSP, and I played it on 1 difficulty up, and you don't do that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I've played like half of 2, and that is my experience with Kingdom Hearts.
I've played the first one all the way through, Chain of Memories all the way through, and half of 2.
Oh, I should roll it back. When I was in middle school, I played Chain of Memories almost all the way through, and didn't quite finish it.
But yeah, just jumping into 2.8 with no other knowledge of anything would be the funniest way to play Kingdom Hearts.
But like the actual best thing about that series is Simple and Clean and/or Sanctuary, depending on your
Simple and Clean.
mood.
Yeah, I agree. Both Simple and Clean.
I have finished that first game several times. When I bought the PS3 remaster, I didn't think I'd like beat it in a week, but no, I picked it up and I played for a week.
The PS2, like the original PS2 Kingdom Hearts, is one of the handful of games I've ever returned to the store.
It's fine.
Why?
Fucking hated it as a teenager.
Have you gone back? You said you played the first one, right? Finished it?
Yeah, on PS4. I went and beat it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
That fight with Riku is the part of that game that I remember getting stuck on.
Oh, for me, it was the final Ansem fight that pissed me off the most.
I don't recall having many problems with that way back then. But I remember that Riku fight. I spent several days fighting it, and I don't know. It was just really hard for me at the time to get through.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like a good game to try to make the off the deep end crew play.
I mean, if you want
Like,
to hurt
if I-
us, if your goal is to hurt us,
I don't want to hurt you. I just want to troll you a little bit.
Are you just looking for something baffling?
Yeah.
Because I feel like ZP has already gone to depths that none of us can really get worse than.
I'm gonna once again emphasize that, you know, I like. Did Gino drop out?
He's still here. He
He's
hasn't said anything.
AFK, I think.
He's probably playing with dogs or something. Anyway, I will continue to emphasize that when we had Cassidy on for Arcu Solstice, it's like that scene in Dragon Ball Z where Vegeta has the scouter and he's like, they're so powerful.
So there are depths that
I'm saying that
y'all have
Cassidy
not
is a more powerful person than any of us.
uh,
They are.
so this deeper Kusoge knowledge.
I mean, you don't run a blog called the Bad Game Hall of Fame
Yeah.
without
being at just a whole different level.
a whole different level. Cassidy also did recommend I play the unpatched version of Raven's Cry.
Uh-huh.
Because
How'd that
apparently
go?
it's like watching a game disintegrate in front of you.
That sounds fun.
I think there was a Giant Bomb quick look for it. But it's the Two Worlds people.
Oh,
Reality
Oh
Pump.
boy.
Making their pirate RPG, and clearly something went very wrong during its development.
Reality Pump is a developer name I feel gets more obscene every time you say it.
Reality Pump.
I love pumping reality.
Listen, I love Two Worlds is a comedy masterpiece.
Uh-huh.
Two Worlds 2, a better game. Secretly
Sadly.
worse as a result.
Yes. Oh, WWK wants to know what's the next off the deep end game.
What's the next off the deep end game? It's Fear and
Hungry
Hunger.
Fear. Yes, it's a Hungry Fear, and after that,
It's
I've
the
been trying to
penis
ask what's
game.
after that.
And then at some point we're gonna figure out what our. We need to do that, and then I believe. I don't know whose
Alright,
pick it is out. after
I
that.
suggest Kingdom Hearts 2.8 or whatever the full name is.
Oh, 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue or whatever.
Yes.
H.
Make ZP play that. And only that.
Has ZP not played any Kingdom Hearts?
He has not.
Huh. Is
surprised
that on
me.
PC?
Yes,
Make him
they're
play
all
on
on the
PC,
Epic
so he-
Games Store.
Hope they would have sent
Okay,
more than
great.
one
Make him
guy.
play it on a
Mouse and
I've been stuck
keyboard.
here
On a mouse and
since
keyboard.
brought back.
And I'm like,
Yes.
this is
What a
terrible.
fucking nightmare.
How could I have foreseen that playing video games on a mouse and keyboard that were meant for a controller would do me wrong?
That has to be
on.
the fun. That'll be the funniest way to introduce them to the Kingdom Hearts series.
I mean, he did play all of Eater Knights. Like,
Oh, WWK, have you ever seen or heard anything streamed by Zombie Pie?
he does have a 360 controller.
Oh, okay. Which doesn't use it.
And I've been telling him he needs to find it and plug it in so we can finish Obscure. And
he's difficult about it.
and he has refused, or he hasn't gotten around to it, basically. But yeah, I don't know. It's always fun to look at ZP's end of the year list and find out how many games he's played, despite the fact that I literally talk to him on a multiple times per week for hours at a time. And just be like, wait, you played all of that? And he's like, yeah, what do you think I do the days I don't stream? Like, he played all of Eternights. Didn't bother telling me. And now, look at me. I haven't even played Eternights.
Wow.
Well, to the Delta Complex Stasis Chambers. This facility was constructed to house and study the extra-dimensional beings.
It's too bad my knowledge of old blobbers isn't deep, because then I would want to suggest like just the weirdest, crustiest one imaginable.
Oh, like just like
podcast.
I mean, you could just go to HG 101 and look up like the weird PC 98 hentai dungeon crawlers.
But you guys aren't going to do hentai games. Like CP would like, or you would veto that.
I probably.
I'm guessing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Fear and Hunger feels like it's on the edge of what I would consider acceptable.
To
be frank,
the game that redacted you to death. Yeah.
I have feelings about that game, and I need to play more of it.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. Because I want to give that game an honest shot. Like I want to credibly say I experienced that game. Does anyone really need to play Eternights? Yes. I know it seems pretty good.
Wait, the Sonic RPG.
Oh, Main Pod already played that.
Crap.
They already played Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood. That was before Off the Deep End even started.
And but so then it's not on the list. It's not on the ranking list.
I mean, I'll tell you right now, I bought that game in about let's say 2017, 2016.
Good.
And played several hours of it. It's
Good.
a Mario RPG, but shit. Made by a short-lived mobile division of BioWare. Like, people are like, it's a BioWare game, and it's like, not really. It's the people who made the fucking Dragon Age mobile game. Yeah. I will not stream Fear and Hunger.
Even though there's a streamer toggle in the settings.
Yeah, you can turn off the penises.
Yes.
But I don't know. I just that game is going for an unpleasantness that I'd rather not subject my audience to.
Yeah.
Oh, SD Snatcher has a translation now. That's right.
Like SD Snatcher, is that Snatcher but
what
different
if
version
Snatcher but chibi?
Oh no. Oh no. Super deformed Snatcher, I get it now.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's Snatcher but a JRPG.
It's too bad it's hard to find a way to play the Doom RPG these days.
I mean, I want to play the Sam Show RPG for
Ooh,
the
there you
Neo
go.
Geo CD, because that got a translation.
Ah, good. Now that's off the deep end.
Yeah, that's off the deep end territory right there. And then I can listen to ZP talk about how he doesn't like fighting games.
Then you also play Legend of Legaia in that case.
That's on our list. That's on the fanfics
Yeah.
list. Because Gino likes that game.
Yeah, I bet. I need to find that fanfics list and add some stuff to it.
I can tell you what we have.
Oh, it's not open list, it's a closed list. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's on a Google Doc. So let's see. What we still have is I think we have the first Dark Cloud. We have the DS remake of Saga 2.
Okay.
AKA
That's
Final
Romance
Fantasy
Saga.
Adventure 2 or whatever.
Oh, Final Fantasy Adventure 2. Oh, okay.
Or we have.
Are there any are there any Shining games on there?
No.
Ooh, should there be?
What
No.
you see before
Okay.
Breath of Fire 3.
Soul Cube. It was
All right.
discovered in 2104, located in a geographic region.
Rance is on there, I imagine.
No. Once again, I will.
Civilization.
Here's the thing. I have sincerely thought about it, but first off, I don't know how Gino would feel about us covering
What we've been able to decode.
Pornography.
pornography.
What clues we have been
Probably it wouldn't feel great for the brand.
No. And second off, I don't know. I feel like I have to put a line somewhere,
And it's you, and you're the one that has to put the line somewhere.
and I have to put the line somewhere. Okay, Final Fantasy Legend 2, excuse me. But what else? I think technically Boktai is still on there, despite the fact that Boktai isn't a JRPG.
Oh, it's not?
No, it's like a stealth game almost.
Huh.
I've played D2. I don't think D2 is an RPG.
You heard it here first, everyone. A lot of things to a lot of people, but it's not an RPG.
What else?
So can Kingdom Hearts 2.8 go on
Kingdom
that
Hearts.
list?
Oh, you mean Kingdom Hearts 0.2? Final chapter prologue, a fragmentary passage, or whatever it's called.
Yes. Yes. Can that go on the list?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd need to buy it. Because I have the other HD collection that's just 1, 2, Birth by Sleep, and
You have the 2.5 collection, not the 2.8 collection.
Chain of Memories. Yeah, the 1.5, 2.5 collection. I do not have the other collection with Dream Drop Distance that I'm just gonna be frank here. People don't seem to like that one.
I see.
And I'm gonna make a hard save here. Yeah, Valmar.jpg is better than any, like, lol, this is so crazy moment we could have with Kingdom Hearts. It's true. We love Valmar.jpg over here. And off the deep end. When your GD-ROM has run out of space and you've run out of money, so the final boss is just a very low, a very compressed image of a King Ghidorah looking thing. That's great. Okay, do I have to listen to things? Do I have to pay attention to this?
Surely not.
Okay, nope. It's 463 725.
I don't think I would be able to have the fortitude to do the bit, but it would be a fun bit, I guess, for like an April Fool's thing, to like have the pod do Undertale and act like no one's ever heard of it. That's some obscure
Unfortunately,
lost
the main
thing.
pod has also done Undertale. Our idea for an April Fool's joke was doing Skyrim.
Oh yeah, yeah. There you go. That would also be a good one.
Just being like, yeah, I don't know, the magic in this game's real bad.
Oh, just shitting on Skyrim. Oh, okay.
Or just being like, yeah, you ever hear about this game?
You can see that second one would be a fun gag, but shitting on Skyrim is cool now, so
yeah,
that wouldn't really go over as a joke.
In a post-Starfield world, everyone has retroactively decided that maybe... Meanwhile, listen, I hated Fallout 4 at the time.
So yeah, so did I. Fallout 4 is not a good game.
Listen, I had my fun with Skyrim. I played a lot of that game in 2011.
You put your 200 hours in. Like
No, I
everyone
only
else.
put 60 in.
What? Fake gamer shit.
I finished all of the guild quest lines, except for I think the Mages Guild.
I mean, if you've played 100 hours of Skyrim, I'm not going to listen to your opinion on Skyrim. There, I said it.
I mean, I've played over 200 hours of Oblivion.
Yeah, okay. So let's be on
I played
that
a
one.
lot of Oblivion.
Oh yeah, so did I. Definitely. Like Oblivion and Skyrim were the last good Bethesda RPGs.
How do you feel about
There you
Fallout
go.
3?
Not great. I don't like it.
In retrospect, I feel less great about it. But also, I don't know. I've thought about... I have recently reinstalled Fallout 1 and 2.
I guess those haven't aged
Why?
well either. But I like them better.
Why? Says, why? Why would you do that?
Why would you possibly do that?
Why? Why would you play this old game? It looks bad. Hi, I'm Jim Ryan, the head of PlayStation. Why would you want to play Gran Turismo 1? Gross.
Gran Turismo 2 has one of the best opening songs of any game of the era.
Is it still easy listening jazz, even back then?
No, they got an actual like European band to do the opening song.
My favorite thing
to Gran
about
Turismo 2.
modern Gran Turismo, which is to say since 5 or 6,
All the easy listening.
is just the part where it is the it is the audio equivalent of being in a fancy car dealership. Like they want that vibe. Of you hanging out
they know
in
their
an Audi
audience.
dealership.
No, the Gran Turismo 2 opening, like, it's a good song.
Wasn't that what was that? The GTA 4 opening is just Panama, which is great.
Anyway, I have goofed around with my brother-in-law's PSVR and playing GTA 8, and that thing is cool. I'm just not a racing man.
Okay. The opening song for Gran Turismo 2 is My Favorite Game by the Cardigans. and it goes very well.
Anyway, my favorite.
But GT4 starts off with like some classical music and like these like really slow panning shots of the car, and then suddenly transitions to Panama, which is good.
If I was to just play a Gran Turismo game,
Just
out
play
of
the most
blue,
recent.
Let's play the most recent.
Four.
most recent.
If you're not gonna play the most recent one, then play 4, because it's generally considered the best.
It's fine.
Although, like as with all racing games, like the best really doesn't mean much.
No, it's just the newest one.
The actual best answer is: have you played Forza Horizon yet?
Yeah.
No.
Play Forza Horizon 5. Just play that.
It's a good time. It's
There are
still a
cars in
racing
that
game
one?
where you have to brake sometimes, so it has that contingent. But also, sometimes you can just do sick drifts and demolish small fences.
Yes.
While obnoxiously pleasant people are like, "I'm Count Driftula. You are the world's greatest racer." I played more
Yes,
Forza
it's all
Horizon
accurate.
4 than 5.
No, it's all accurate.
Decontamination process started.
Hey man, I heard you were a good racer. What if you tried some of these off-road challenges? I don't know if
You're
I
saying I
hate
should try
that
these
or
games?
modern Gran Turismo's very sterile, like, once again, we care a lot about automobiles.
Yeah.
Vibe more.
Which racing game would someone who likes Mario Kart?
Forza Horizon.
Which
Forza
is
Horizon.
that?
The answer is Forza Horizon.
Okay.
Like, however you frame the question, the answer is Forza Horizon 5.
The answer is Mario and
I see.
the answer is Sonic All Stars Racing Transformed.
Okay, that's
Jack X.
Sick.
Play the remake of Crash Team Racing, and then realize how much harder that game was than you remember it being.
Like if you're someone
Like Diddy
who
Kong Racing.
Diddy Kong
Yes.
Racing is just
Be
as
disappointed.
easy as you remember.
Teleport destination.
Playing Diddy Kong Racing with other people is way worse than you remember, because there's no blue shell equivalent, and there's no real way to have a comeback mechanic.
No, you just kind of
Selected.
Like,
hope that you did good.
If you get in first, it's kind of hard to not get out of first unless you make a mistake. And the tracks in that game are simple enough that it's making a mistake is
You should never make a mistake.
can be hard.
I mean, the answer is to simply not get hit.
Yeah, the answer is to just, I don't know, play the single player
It's just get
adventure.
good. It's just get good.
Decontamination complete.
I'll never
but
get
no.
good at anything.
But no, like the answer, like if you're not a sicko that wants to like do like qualifying for races, then the answer, then the answer to any like racing question for a race game recommendation in the year of our Lord 2024 is Forza Horizon 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I want
the
to
racing-
qualify for a race. No.
The racing genre.
I love qualifying for races.
The
I'm
racing
sick.
genre in general is just kind of in a not great, like low key in a not great place right now.
People really don't like that most recent Forza Motorsport.
Oh, it's fine. They're babies. They're just big babies. It's fine. The thing is, there hasn't been one in like 5 years, so like everyone forgot what those games are like.
People forgot that Forza Motorsport is closer to Gran Turismo than we'd like
Yeah.
to pretend.
Yeah, like I mean, there's a lot of like difficulty options, so like you can make it not Grognard if you want, and that was That was always the thing with Forza. It was a sim that you could set to be not that grognard, the difficulty. Like, from beginning to end. That's what those games are. And, you know, like the 7th one came out like 5-6 years ago, and everyone forgot since then. A bunch of whiny babies who poop their pants. Those are the critics of the modern Forza Motorsports.
They had gone out into the world and played games that tried to be more arcadey and fun, and then they came back and went, "Why isn't this like that?" We're upset.
It's also one of those things where if you want a very simmy racing game, that niche has been well filled for a while.
That niche is solved. That is a solved niche of like the super semi
who care about iRacing and are like, you know, big fans of Gran Turismo based on a true story now in theaters.
That's not in theaters anymore.
Are you sure?
It's on Amazon now.
It's
Jim
not streaming.
Ryan's personal theater 24/7.
Okay, true. But no, like the specific niche of not like an arcade racing game and not a full sim racing game, the desire for that has shrunk over the last decade, to where having to a point where having two of those at the same time is probably too much, which means that there isn't room for both Gran Turismo and Forza.
It's also
and Forza
like
1.
even GT isn't.
And like no one liked GT7 either.
Yeah,
is the thing.
Even GT isn't what like, because you need to remember, Gran Turismo 2 and 3 were like two of the best-selling PlayStation games, period,
of all time. Yeah, no, like first
top five.
Like the first 4 Gran Turismo games were massive blockbusters.
Also, those 2 and 3 especially were kind of just like incredible looking games for their time.
And sounding, because they put all those microphones underneath those cars.
Yeah.
Those weird sickos.
And they had 700 megabytes of space to store those sound files.
Hell yeah. But yeah, no, so like the modern, like the newest Forza, like is Forza, and the world isn't the same one that Forza 3 came out in.
It's a jaded, more angry world than Forza 3 came out in.
The world has.
The racing game market has bifurcated into either full arcade or full sim. There's no desire for an in-between anymore.
One of the things that the Forza Motorsports and Gran Turismo's always did that I really liked that the Horizons don't do. They start you really low.
Yeah.
Like you have to get a piece of shit car and race in it for a little while.
Yeah.
Which really lets you appreciate those supercars. Horizon is just like, here's a supercar.
Yeah, Horizon gives you fucking like BMWs out of the game.
Like immediately. Like it doesn't care. The point is to go get into open world hijinks.
And you know, it's like you can use shitty cars or like joke cars. You know, like when I got the little tiny car and souped it up all the way, and then gave it a decal that made it look like a minion. And weirdly enough, it was impossible to control because the thing is so light and so small that giving it a turbo engine is a terrible idea.
And WWK, it sells Xboxes, just not as many as it needs to.
It sells Xboxes to 10 people, and they are very stoked.
Well, the problem is it's so hard to tell because Game Pass. And that's been the problem with Microsoft's first-party games for years.
I'm not an industry analyst. If I was an industry analyst, I'd be like, I don't know, maybe the Switch 2 will be digital only and not transfer your online purchases. I would just say that. And it would be...
And they'd throw money at you and say, that's brilliant.
They'd give me $300,000 to say that.
Yeah, but you have to just doing
He's
his
doing
job
that.
still.
He's doing exactly that.
Yeah. He's just not, I guess, famous in the game community anymore.
Keeley doesn't return his calls anymore, I think.
Yeah.
But
But
also,
yeah, I know,
it's
so,
one
like-
of those things where the predictions and takes that Michael Pachter makes publicly are not the ones he sells to the corporations.
Yeah, as you do.
As he should.
Like the actual informed speculation. You gotta
Like,
pay for that.
Yeah. Like, him spitballing it to the public isn't as fun anymore as it used to be.
Ooh.
But yeah, no, like, so it's really hard to tell how stuff like, Forza or Starfield or even like, earlier Halo and Gears 5.
Starfield was one of the top-selling games on Steam.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
people are playing it, but
It
because
won the most innovative gameplay award.
See, that's just people shitposting in the same way that RDR2 got Labor of Love because Rockstar abandoned it.
But no, like
gamers
the selling
hashtag
point.
are angry.
Yes, but like the selling point for Xbox is Game Pass, and their first-party games bolster Game Pass, so it's hard to know how much any individual one moves the needle.
Listen, if
For
I had
hardware
my
sales.
way, people would be lining up buying Xbox subscriptions to get Pentiment.
There you go.
That's a video game.
Alright, I gotta go get a haircut. I will
Go get a
see y'all
haircut.
later.
Have fun.
I'm gonna continue to walk through these mostly identical corridors. Now, thankfully, they're flesh things. To let you know you're closer to hell. I'm gonna keep doing this
Meat
until
space.
my voice goes
WWK,
out.
I wouldn't say that Rockstar hates PC. I think Rockstar loves PC. They can sell you their game on PS5 and then a year later sell it to you on PC.
Yeah.
Don't you hate it when your hallways start being made out of meat?
That's how I know. Oh.
Please select teleport destination.
Yeah, well, they're pretty good meat hallways at least.
Pad 1, selected 3.
Not as good as Signalis' meat hallways, but
Yeah.
Oh, of course not. But what are some bad meat hallways?
Cruelty Squad, but that's on purpose.
Golden Light.
Again,
Oh,
on purpose.
Again on
okay.
purpose. You ever played that game?
I don't think so.
They made a prop hunt roguelite.
You should bring Boardmaster in for Golden Light.
Oh god.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
no,
might.
it was very fun to play that with you, Justin, and just be like, what the fuck is this? And like, I don't think it's a great game, but also it's not trying to be a great game. It's trying to be a weird roguelite where you drive a meat bicycle that talks to you. Between runs, where, once again, it is a roguelite, but it's a prop hunt game. So you are seeing which inanimate objects are secretly monsters that want to eat you, and trying to sneak around them. Or
Oh, that
kill
sounds
them.
miserable.
It's great.
It's very unusual.
It is unique. And also, once again, everything is made of meat, and you can eat it.
Yeah.
And it has that kind of low, very heavily pixelated filter thing going on. It's good.
So going back to WWK, the issue is the idea of a centerpiece game for a
Doesn't
console.
exist anymore unless you're Sony.
Yeah, like
I mean,
it's-
it exists
that's
for Sony and Nintendo. Like, Nintendo and Sony both have their centerpiece games.
But the thing is, Xbox isn't trying to be a traditional console. They're trying to be a
Service.
streaming service. And the way you do streaming services, you don't have a
You don't have a
centerpiece
single
show.
killer app. You have a bunch of different things for different audiences.
Yes, you have like a bunch of things that appeal to like an audience, and you appeal to like 50 audiences at the same time. That's how you do it.
It's
as a
why
streaming
the
service.
most watched Netflix show is something none of us have ever heard of.
Yes.
You
I
mean
forgot
it's
what
not
it's called,
Stranger
but
Things?
Well,
It-
that too.
Yeah, the most that fucking Squid Game thing also is maybe one of the worst things I've ever seen.
The thing is, the streaming service blockbusters are kind of like those are found. I mean, other than HBO, but for Netflix, those are found by like a shotgun approach.
Yeah.
Like you fund 30 projects and one of them is a blockbuster. Like, but you don't know that that's a 4-quadrant.
Where
show
meanwhile,
until it
Sony
happens.
makes 3 or 4
So-
big games a year, and they are all hyper focus tested.
You mean vaguely open world checklists?
Yeah.
Games that are just like
They are.
They're prestige games.
The,
like
the phrase
Sony's
"too
like
big
HBO
to
like
fail" is something I am tempted to apply when talking about Sony first party, because outside of like occasional misfires like Days Gone, which still sold millions of copies, just not enough millions. They've gotten very good at making video games that look like fake HBO shows.
Yes, that's why I said they're like they're like HBO. Like they have like a prestige thing that hits big and funds everything else for a year. And it's very designed. It's very intentional.
meanwhile, Microsoft is like, here, do you like Hi-Fi Rush?
Yeah, like if you had like 20 games that were for like specific audiences and good, like Hi-Fi Rush or Pentiment, then you can build something off of that. But it's also not sexy, right?
And also
it doesn't get headlines.
Microsoft's ability to maintain that.
That's the other thing I think Microsoft can eat any cost.
But also right now they're
Sequence initiated.
right now their
The
first
piggy
party
bank's
dev
been empty.
scene is kind of a mess, because it was Matrick is responsible for stripping that first party apparatus down and just being like, it's fine, we can just sell Call of Duty and also TV. Remember when
Yeah.
they really thought people wanted to watch TV through their Xboxes?
Well, guess what? Now I watch streaming services through my Xbox.
Now you watch
Hey.
streaming services through your Xbox.
But going back to WWK, like that the common, I guess, opinion is that it does need a 4-quadrant hit, and that. But whenever they try to do that,
They fuck
doesn't.
It up.
Well, it's not that fuck up because the games are usually fine, but it's not like the massive thing because it's a streaming service.
And also, Halo ain't what it used to be.
Primary system failure. System
I feel like Halo Infinite had like a moment in the limelight, and then that people played that campaign and they were like, boy, this story really does suck.
I mean, I like the Halo Infinite. I like the
Yeah, I like
grappling
that game.
hook.
That Halo Infinite campaign was one of my favorite things of that year, but it was because of the grapple hook mostly.
Yeah.
And also
And
the
I,
simple game.
hey, the multiplayer now has maps.
Hey.
So,
that multiplayer is really good now. I've been playing that recently. Yeah. It's very good.
I would happily play more of that.
And also, it seems like they're not so keen on keeping the Master Chief Collection up.
Well, they finally, it sounds like they're done, like, with making new stuff for that. They made new Halo 3 maps.
Which
Yeah,
again, it's been 10 years. Like I'm not going to fault them for stopping support after 10 years.
They finally fixed that game.
I mean, as long as it still functions, like as long as I can still play the MCC, because I'm kind of hoping that thing is going to be functional for eternity.
Yeah, you see, so like them being super high on Hellboy 2, like they're like it's like Charlie Brown in the football again, where they want to have like their prestige big hit, but they're not gonna get it because you can't like when you're running like a streaming service style model, you can't like call your hits. You can't designate, okay, this is going to be the big one. We're going to put all of our effort behind it, because then you're asking for it to not be the big one actually.
You're also going to always be playing catch up with Sony and Nintendo on that, because those companies have had decades to build up publishers. I mean, not build up developers and franchises.
And also, it's a different business model entirely.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like HBO tried to say that like House of the Dragon was gonna be the next big thing when they did that. Like, they tried to call that hit, and that didn't do the numbers.
It did better than the Amazon Lord of the Rings series.
Yes, it did better than it should have, but it didn't do Game of Thrones numbers because of course it wasn't going to. I mean, no one expected Game of Thrones to be like the breakout massive hit that it was, when they're making the first season. They made it to their normal level of quality, and then when it turned out, people were into it, then they put their full resources behind it.
I just think Microsoft is they let their institutions rot, and then when and Spencer spent all of the Xbox One era building them back up. And now they just need them to actually work cohesively. And they haven't done that yet. And, that's how Redfall happened. Is they were too hands-off.
Selected.
They were cleaning up the mess from Bethesda corporate.
And also, that's another reason why you shouldn't, rely on, one or two big prestige hits a year.
Yeah.
Because look at Netflix. Sometimes you get a Bright, as Netflix, and other times you get the Stranger Things, and they're not going to be able to call the hits before they hit. So Xbox is still trying to adjust to a similar model for video games, and it's a new way of doing things that is hard. That's why Starfield was probably a disappointment, because it wasn't the prestige hit, like a Sony or Nintendo does, because that's not what their business model is.
Do you think Outer Worlds 2 has a chance of being their prestige hit?
No.
Because Outer Worlds 1 did sell pretty well.
I think
Sells
that
pretty
game
well.
will
Yeah,
do just fine.
It'll do fine, but they're not going to have the 4-quadrant breakout prestige hit. You need to have 30 AA sized games, that do really well for a demographic. You need to have 30 things that are the size and quality of Hi-Fi Russian Pentiment.
Avowed doesn't seem like it's going to be that game either.
Nope.
Okay.
No. And also they need to come out with 10 of those AA, minor hits every year. That's the dark secret
we're gonna
of the Netflix model.
Instead of the Perfect Dark reboot being quote-unquote quadruple A, and then also, by the way, whoops, everyone leading the studio has already left.
Decontamination chamber sequence initiated.
Because right now they're trying to do both, because they have to try to keep up with the competition in that, or keep up with appearances.
Decontamination.
Yeah,
Which
my favorite
they shouldn't be doing.
British comedy show, Keeping Up with Appearances.
Yes, no, everyone's favorite Brett column.
Decontamination complete.
It's
Have a
Bouquet!
nice day.
Because her name is Hyacinth Bucket.
Yeah, Hyacinth Bucket, yes,
But
exactly.
She says bouquet because when you realize that everything in the UK is just about class,
Yes.
all UK based programs are just about a hatred of the poor.
Uh-huh.
In the same way that the United States, US media likes to do things at the expense of I guess we
race.
also hate poor people here too.
Yeah, no, definitely that. WWK, Nintendo has their cadence. They found their cadence. They're doing their cadence. No one else can do their cadence.
I think the thing Nintendo needs to keep in mind is they need their input method to be
Pad 2 selected.
somewhat traditional. The Wii was a one-time thing.
Well, I can't wait for them to fuck it up somehow.
Oh yes, I'm looking forward to the dual switch.
God, if that thing's true.
Process
It'd be
started.
very funny. They could finally do backwards compatibility with DS and 3DS.
Decontamination complete.
Rejoice.
You could play. There were DS games on the Wii U.
Oh, well, yeah, because they're two
More
screens.
Yeah.
They can finally fully replicate the Wii U, 3DS, and DS experience if they have a dual Switch. You know, the thing that everyone's been waiting for from them.
I think I just went in a big circle.
Yeah, it seems like there aren't that many areas here.
I'm sorry, they just all look the same. Okay,
Oh, and the Ravens
reached
finally
the
got a
main
touchdown.
portal, of course.
God damn. But yeah, Nintendo will always find a way to avoid collapse.
I mean, for a while they were almost as valuable as Apple.
Yeah, like when both the handhelds and the consoles hit, Nintendo is like one of the largest tech companies in the world.
And
But
they have the
they've combined them.
institutional knowledge and expertise to make fantastic video games.
Yeah, well, I mean, like when you look at like the GameCube and Wii U eras, and even the N64 era, when like those consoles did badly enough that like they should have gone the way of Sega, but they didn't because they had the handhelds.
Yeah, because the GBA and DS.
And like
And
3DS
also-
and Game Boy Color, and like those all like kept the company alive. So them combining like the console and handheld into the Switch is risky in that way.
But it
So
paid
that
off
so
for
like
them.
so like
Path
it's so far it's
three
paid off for them.
selected.
So they have to like always get it right now, which we will see. And I wouldn't say Nintendo has institutional rot. They're just old-fashioned.
Yeah, they're just a conservative-ass Japanese company.
Yeah, that's not so much rot as it is just tradition.
Yeah, it like, you know, hey, they still don't quite understand how online works. Or how to support a game online.
In the Wii days, it's not so much that their brand
didn't collapse. It collapsed among, like, the hardcore gamers, quote-unquote.
Like,
They made
gamers
a
stopped taking them
ridiculous amount of
seriously.
money.
Pad 4
But like they
selected.
they were one of the largest tech companies in the world, like by value.
Like, yeah, you had, you know, like, there was a point where they basically stopped pretending to care about the enthusiast side of things.
Which that hurt them in for the Wii U. So you know, in that way, you know, their brand collapse among the hardcore gamers, like hurt the Wii U because no one showed up for it. But they obviously recovered since then, because the 3DS still sold well enough that they had money.
And now, hey, guess what? That Mario movie made a lot of money.
Made $1 billion.
With a B.
Like, Nintendo is a multi-billion-dollar company. Like, if they hit a rough patch, it'll be a rough patch and not like the end.
Yeah, no, the casual market came to the realization that actually...
The casual market went to the Wii because it was a fad, right? Because
Yeah.
Wii Sports was fun for the whole family. But the Wii U, like, wasn't a fad. So the casuals didn't show up for it. And because it alienated the hardcore gamers, you know, we didn't really show up that much for it either. For the Wii U. But the Switch, everyone showed up for it, right? So it was a fallow, like, 4 years they had for on console, but the handheld still did well.
Was the Wii U was the Wii U or the GameCube a lower low?
The Wii U, like, no, like there, like I think the Wii U sold like 14 million units. The GameCube sold like 20 something or 30, and then 64 was like 20 something or 30 something. Like, the Wii U is the lowest load they've ever had.
I think you just go back
GameCube
to
is
the door
popular
again.
now because people our age
Because nostalgia.
are in our 30s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
no,
also,
I mean,
it genuinely did have a pretty good library.
I'm just saying
I think
we
you're
need
supposed to go back to
we
that
need to
door,
get the
to
Doshin
door
the
again,
Giant people.
on the other side of the catwalk.
We're the custom robo enthusiasts, huh? Alright, I have no idea where I'm going, Justin.
where's the custom Robo sequel? We're all
Trying to
clamoring
look at a
for.
guide. Like, is there one last thing on there that teleporter can go to? Part 1?
Oh no,
Not the
Movie
hallway,
Alien
top left.
has the only correct opinion. The GameCube is popular because it has the handle.
Yeah.
Yes, it's shaped like a lunchbox.
It's
so
shaped.
clearly.
It's got that cool. Oh, here we go.
Marine, your
It's
journey
friend
is
shaped.
futile. You will die, and your soul will be mine.
Yeah, it's got that cool GBA connector that you use to play Four Swords Adventures and Crystal Chronicles.
And go to the extra
Yeah.
island in Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Brayden, what if I told you that you do this bit, and then you go to hell, and then you come back, and then you finish the game?
Oh. That's cool.
Did you just tell him to go to hell? That's so rude.
Yes, Brayden, I'm telling you to go to hell. So was the video
Finally.
game, to be fair.
Hey, like, listen, I've turned around and I actually love all of Nintendo's weird boondoggle peripherals.
I mean, most of them are easy to love after like
The e-readers,
with enough distance.
yeah, listen, my friend, shoutouts to Austin, who's absolutely not watching this because he has like 2 kids and is an accountant. But shoutouts to Austin for being the rich kid with the e-reader, so I could experience that without having to get my parents to pay for it.
Well, okay, so like it's easy to like the dumb Nintendo boondoggles, like peripherals, like well after the fact. I don't think there's that much fond feelings right now about their cardboard bullshit for the Switch.
The Labo is cool. Once again, I'm
Also,
glad
the
I didn't
Labo-
buy it.
Also, I feel like the Labos being made of cardboard thing will ensure it doesn't survive as well as some of the other stuff.
No. Like Rob sucked ass back in the 80s, but it's a fun little robot guy you can have, and so everyone likes it, after like 10 years. And that's true of all of their weird peripherals.
When do I get the BFG?
And yet somehow there has not yet been a redemption arc for Wii Music.
Did you say when do you get the BFG?
Yeah.
You could have gotten it before this, but in secrets. If not, I think you'll get it sometime in hell.
Yeah, all the Wii U ports that are on the Switch are monster hits. Yet they still have not ported those.
Where's Xenoblade X? Where's Star Fox Zero?
Yeah,
Cowards?
where's those Zelda HD remasters? Yes, Breath of the Wild is cross-gen. That's like saying
I could
Twilight
set up-
Princess is a GameCube game.
I mean, Twilight Princess is a GameCube game that they shoved
shit.
Waggle into.
Giggity. See, people, I think, because society, because culture is so irony poisoned, people like the Virtual Boy now.
The Virtual Boy seems...
It's dog shit. It's complete and utter dog.
Yeah,
It's
no,
the worst
the Virtual
thing.
Boy seems like it might have a couple neat games, but as an experience, the idea of having this thing that just eats batteries and gives you a headache...
Yeah, no, it's the gaming peripheral that literally melts your brain.
It's the gaming peripheral that, led to Gunpei Yokoi falling out with Nintendo. And then he died in a freak car accident, and no one from Nintendo came to his funeral.
Oh, jeez.
It's one of those old Japanese company beefs.
Yeah.
Where, yeah, that thing was Gunpei Yokoi's baby. And then they're like, this is terrible. And then he made the Wonder Swan, which is a dope-ass handheld.
Hell yeah.
It's not as dope as the Neo Geo Pocket Color as far as, like, Game Boy Color
of course.
Competitors.
I mean, what is? Like, the Neo Geo Pocket Color is great if you don't have to actually buy batteries for the thing.
The funeral bit? I know Yamauchi didn't go to his funeral. But Yamauchi... My continual mental image of Hiroshi Yamauchi, which I will continue to maintain, is just this old man chain smoking, like, is there a fishing game in this? Is there a mahjong game? Alright, make some money. And then, you know, the people who actually care about the product make the money because he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, you just keep watching that one guy get wrecked.
Yeah. That one guy, me.
That too. So, my advice is to not get hit.
Okay, yeah, I'll get on that.
Yeah, you need to get good. I'm sorry I suggested veteran. I remember this being easier than it is.
Well, it's fine. I'll get an achievement. That'll all be worth it. Yeah, no, Yamauchi absolutely had an eye for talent and, like, cared enough to have people make good things, but also he did not care about the product. In the same way that, you know, like Iwata did. Because Iwata was their programming boy Wunderkind. But also, Iwata's the one responsible for the Wii U, so, you know. Anyway, now we're in hell.
Yeah.
Yay.
Finally.
In a hell of our own making.
And look, they took all of our weapons. We have to...
It's a new episode.
Yeah. Alright, we're gonna call it here.
Whoa.
Because now we've made it to hell.
Welcome to hell.
It only took 9 hours. 7.9 hours.
Oh yeah, Doom the Alien asking, is this Doom Eternal?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it taking forever? Master, did you play Doom Eternal?
No. It did not look fun. Their gameplay philosophy
It's
of like
very,
the way you handle
demanding
stuff. It did not look like a good time, so I didn't play it.
There are parts of it that are a good time. Alright, no one else is streaming.
Nope.
Thanks everyone for watching.
Bye.
Bye.